What's up, friends? Welcome to another Fight Night Arena. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time to go. It's fdot and it's Jamerson getting ready for two best of threes on the way tonight. First, got to catch up. How you doing, man? How's everything?
Doing good. You know, another week in quarantine, another week. Here we go, doing some fight nights. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, it should be interesting because we've started to get some higher levels of play here. Big frames have kind of dominated the scene for a number of weeks, and then last week they were outed. Another team came through and stepped up, and so we've got new guys kind of waiting in the wings here for these victors, and it should be a really different kind of take because for a couple of weeks, we were watching teams kind of grab their footing, and now it seems like everybody's moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is a squad, one of the squads that we're seeing today. I'm pretty excited for. Again, you know, it's been a lot of like players in our collegiate brackets that I'm familiar with, you know, but coming into these weeks, I don't really have as much familiarity with a lot of these players unless, you know, maybe they played on like Team Liquid or Cloud9, CSGO way back when. But now like we're seeing some similar names, so I'm really excited for this week.
Yeah, exactly. MambaModeGaming and Charlotte Phoenix are coming out, and Charlotte Phoenix is a squad that like has some let's say clout behind it, if you will. Whether the individual player is trying to make a name for themselves, but Charlotte Phoenix is active in the esports world in a number of different titles. So you know, in order to grab the attention of an organization like that, that means that you've, like I said, kind of put that best foot forward and they're trying to do things. So they're going up against MambaModeGaming, you know, rest in peace, Kobe, some fierce competitors here I'm expecting for sure.
Oh yeah, and definitely Charlotte Phoenix. They've had like some decent results, you know, competing in a lot of the qualifiers throughout for the past few weeks. They just haven't been able to make it to the finals or anything like that. But you know, they've been putting up some great games, and so this is why I'm really excited to see this squad.
We're going to start off on Bind, it looks like. Excuse me, we're going to start off on Haven, it looks like. And that means we're going to be messing around with who's on offense and defense, actually. So Mamba Blue is going to be defending here, and Charlotte Phoenix is going to be attacking. And then next we'll go to Bind, and then after that, if we need our third game, we'll go to Split. So Charlotte starting off attacking here on this side. We'll see what they got because historically speaking, attacking side is not as fruitful as the defender side.
Yeah, for sure. But Haven, again, I think it's one of those kind of like litmus tests for a team. How good do they look on the offense? If you have a decent offense on Haven, I think that's a good look for you. Just because this is one of those more practice maps. You should already have like your set takes, and like these are set like set takes that you should have had practice with other squads or just even pubbing. You know, there are a lot of plays that people just know how to do on the offense for Haven. That's
exactly where I was getting, is that as we see the game, I don't want to say as we see the game mature, patch notes coming out, sure, but just as the game is out longer, people have more time to practice this stuff. They see this stuff. So I think by default, defending is easier because you just spread the map, make a call, then shoot people. And on the attacking side, you got to be creative. You got to be interesting. You got to look for the different ways to win the round. And that's what we're seeing as it goes on, right? More time in the oven, and players are able to bake out these strategies. So we're kind of seeing that come together and be fruitful. As far as the past couple of weeks have been concerned, I'm eager to see how it works out in the future. For example, I mean, tonight, like I said, Charlotte Phoenix is an established squad, and we have a team that looked really good last week waiting in the finals for them.
Oh yeah, definitely excited for that. Again, we've had some amazing performances and a lot of best of threes. I think, you know, the fact that we've been continually going to map number 3 has been a big statement for like where a lot of our teams are. They have some different, you know, definite strengths, definite weaknesses, but overall, we kind of hit the level playing field, and then we hit map number 3, and that's where it's kind of the big test for everybody.
Yeah, it should be an interesting look. Going all the way to map number 3, this time around it's going to be Split, which is usually what I expect. Listen, there are 4 maps, and everybody seems to like Haven, and Ascent is okay in people's minds. Bind, I feel like, is up in the air, but Split is generally considered, you know, one of the lower tier picks, or was, and now we're kind of seeing it rise in the ranks. Why do you think players are more willing to play on Split these days?
I honestly don't know. I wish I could tell you. I still don't like Split. Split just still feels so stagnant for the offense, you know? And it can feel so oppressive when all you need is a Sage or a decent raise in mid to hold it down.
That's why we're playing Haven. Hopefully we don't have to get the split. That's what both teams are looking for. Because if we don't get the split, that means it's been a 2-game dub. So obviously both MMG and Charlotte Phoenix are going to be looking for that. We'll see if anybody can be a boss tonight. But worth looking at here. MMG, some new names for sure. Chase, Critical, Infamous, Riley J, and the squad. They're going to be coming up on the defender side. Charlotte Phoenix. This team actually played in Fight Night a couple of weeks ago. Our very first, the inaugural Fight Night featured these guys. They've come back with a different, slightly different roster, 1-player difference, and that's Anger. And we'll see how it works out. As right away, the defenders are getting real aggressive here in Garage.
Yeah, we see a lot of teams try to control up through mid here and try to take, of course, initiative on this first defense, but they weren't able to find a pick as Charlotte were just playing default themselves and playing very safely. Now they're going to go ahead and regroup. And they made their way all the way up.
And this is where the Sage players come into play, where these Sage plays definitely make sense. 2 kills and 2 kills. It's a 3-on-3 after a walk into C site. Charms lurking in the corner, and Anger very aware of players inside of Garage. Left side, somebody walking over the tripwire. Good long-range shot from Charms out of his corner spot. Teammate finds one as well. And Riley J, the last remaining member of MMG. Down he goes, easy. And that's Charlotte Phoenix. Round 1 here. And the way they cleaned that up at the end was impressive.
What was more impressive was their pivot. As soon as they saw those players pushing up their Garage, knowing that there was multiple presence in mid, meant that there was, of course, one less player basically on either side, A or C. And so they just pivoted quickly to the C site, pushed all the way through long, and gained control and was able to get the bomb plant. They understood exactly what their opponents were doing, and they took advantage of it. That was great display out of them.
Now they've got some rifles, it looks like. Man, I think they went for the early rifles. Usually we see some. No, okay, it's subs. Location revealed onto shots. MMG a little bit more cautious about walking out of the Garage this time, but not completely, as Anger sits there and lines up 2 shots. Just walked into him. Charms also just sitting there waiting, allowing players to walk into the crosshairs here.
Yeah, very smart. Again, another measured play, just like they did on the pistol rounds there. They're just going to play default, play it very safe. Check the angles. Oh, okay, size. What?
We've seen that a lot where players kind of, I call it a homer at the nuclear reactor. You do the job, right? You check the corner, but you do it mindlessly. 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't matter. There, they like mindlessly check the corner and go back. Wait, what? And turn and snap back, get the kill. You love to see that sort of thing. But one more time, Riley J, the LMS.
This is huge. So if all 5 players make it out of this alive, that's just so much money. I don't know how much damage they took across armor, or if they invested heavily into armor or not. But the more they can save here, taking a look at Spirit, he was full eco there, except he bought the heavy armor and the ghosts. So they should have an operator in play if they want to. I wouldn't. For the way that MMG have been playing pretty aggressively, I would be okay with just taking a Vandal or Phantom, just because of the fact that they've been pushed up so heavily upon mid that you kind of want to play it within that range instead of playing the longer range of the operator.
See, I'm the other way around. I feel like normally I wouldn't want the operator in this position, but because MMG are being so aggressive and running outside, you can just hold that Garage angle and wait for somebody to walk, snap them down, right? Like, I feel on the other side, so does Charlotte. Spirit going to be picking up the op, and I like this call. Because Charms and Anger have been the ones that are playing that position that you're talking about, the people lying in wait for MMG to kind of push out. And Spirit, who has been relatively unsuccessful, can kind of sit behind them and find those op shots.
Take a look at Infamous, though, on the side of MMG. He's actually going to be pulling out an LMG for themselves here. And so he's just going to try and spam this wall. Did he get any damage across? No.
So that's the only... I hate these weapons. I really do. I've always hated these weapons. Nice shots from Critical. The high ground advantage there. So a 5-on-4, MMG with the advantage. But so this is the purpose of this weapon. Suppressive fire, right? It's not a tactic. Wow. In a real like crowd control sense, but you can't walk out there. You're gonna die. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the LMG?
That's okay, but we do have the flank going down onto the A site. And now, while there is a flank coming out, they actually spotted him out on a tripwire. So they know that someone is coming up from T-spawn right now. So they'll have the proper response. They've got a wall off as well over at A main. And we have someone in dark right now while it's Heaven that they have to worry about.
Anger kind of messing that one up there. But there's that op. Shots comes through with the 3K. Spirit finishes off the round. And that's 3 in the bucket for Charlotte Phoenix. Nice and easy so far. MMG, less than 3,000 across the board. Zek with 31. But I expect this to be a save here for sure. Coming back with a vengeance in round 5.
Yeah, definitely you're just going to go with like maybe some sheriffs and some upgraded pistols. I don't think you go with the SMGs at this point, but Zek looks like he will try to go for it here.
Where's Zek going to be playing? Zek is the Sage player, so I see what's happening there. So Zek and a teammate kind of peeked out A underground, and they were double peeking with the sub, which makes sense. K-size, long range shot down C long. Already the team finds themselves on the platform. Spike still not planted. About 1:10 to go. Enemy team filtering in from the backside. Chase going to be coming in from garage. One shot, one kill. Make it 2. Spirit trades back with the op shot. It's a 3-on-3. Scratch it. Anger rezzed. Charlotte Phoenix with the numbers advantage.
Yeah, Shots holding it down, taking out one more, and now it's a 2v4 retake, which honestly, it's a pistol. You just kind of go for it. You're not trying to save anything, right? Getting the res out was huge. If they could get a few more picks here, if they could pick up 2 more before they go down, that would be amazing. Just to try and put a slow halt down their economy right now. Go in and A-size will get traded away for 1. We got 1 more. This is what I'm talking about. Infamous. So close. Backing away now.
Still so far, though, 1 versus 3. That bomb's going to go off right about now. Oh, here's the interaction. They're going to catch him. Pop, pop. Spirit with all the time in the world. Lines that up, takes the shot. 4-0, Charlotte Phoenix.
Take a look. Shots is currently at max money. He's at 8,400 after he buys up the rest of his utility. And he has been holding it down. That second round, he was able to basically secure that for the team, finding a 2K on the site himself. But he's currently 5-0-2, hasn't died yet. His money is going far. It looks like he did buy for someone. And so they're making sure that, of course, that their money will start maxing out once again if they get another round win here.
K-size charging up the mid. Nobody in B waiting for him. Left side is going to meet somebody right about now. Keeping it safe. Going to pop down the smoke before they walk in. Beautiful read by Anger.
Smoke's down.
Completely blind. Just knew the timing after the drop. Unfortunately for Charlotte Phoenix, though, Zek does the same damn thing. Waits around it. Critical across the field. Right, gets one as well. So it's a 2-4 situation now. MMG in control for what seems like the first time, all set.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake coming out from Charlotte there is they wall off the left side of the B sites. So someone should be holding that right angle very hard, but instead 2 of them just walk out, get headshot easily. It should have been a trade at the very least instead of just a 2K going over to Zek now as Chase tries to flash over with the timing on that wall. Doesn't actually get the kill, but MMG still have the bomb site held down along with the bomb right here at the opening.
Here comes some utility from Charlotte Phoenix. There's 25 seconds left, so this is going to be their final push. Damage from the back onto Zek. That's some good utility coming out from Spirit there. Lines up with the sniper, grabs one. The second on the way. Cypher needs to peek out, but here comes Chase with the blind. The sniper player is down. MMG are able to find themselves a win. Nice job.
Yeah, that was kind of an overcommittal coming out from Phoenix. Even though they do have these 4 rounds and they have the economy behind it, I think making sure that MMG aren't able to, well, get a double op setup would have been huge. Kind of gifting over that operator might have been a mistake, but this might also bait MMG into, not being able to play with the kind of rate of fire game once it comes into close quarters combat. We'll see. Chase, though, might go for the peak over here at double doors.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about with Charlotte being willing to just go up on that one. See long. Oh! Shot right in between the legs. Not going to find the kill just yet. Riley J getting some info. K-Size, I love this play. Pushing all the way up. Teammate shows up with the Odin button.
Oh, no.
See? Like, what is this? Oh, my goodness.
It's overwhelming power is what it is.
Oh, man. So this is the second time we've seen the Brimstone player pick this up. And it's also the second time we see MMG grab a victory. Coincidence?
Well, the first time I believe they lost with it, right? So
They
it's a
did.
50% success rate. Infamous here looking to make it a 66% rate. We'll see. But it looks like finally Charlotte, their bank was broken there. And honestly, that's why I thought Spirit should just save that. Should have just saved that operator from that first round that they lost. That's a huge investment every single round that you buy it. That's half your money more than that. And so now it's going to be Charlotte on the back foot and MMG looking to bring things closer, get a third round on the board for themselves.
So far, they've bounced back pretty nicely. 6 rounds in, they own 2 of them, but K-Size coming in fully equipped. It's going to be a slow A push. All 5 players. MMG, on the other hand, have 2 here on site. Make that 3. 2 players waiting to rotate. Here comes the utility. K-Size dashing on in, as per usual for Jet. Nobody good just yet. Jet climbs, Jet shoots. Trade out is 1, and it's a 4-on-4. Critical of the boys going upstairs. The wall will last for the moment. Here comes a Sova ult, keeping players outside of that entrance. But Spike's already down, and it's up to MMG to retake here. Charlotte Phoenix is going to make that hard.
Yeah, we have to remember. Oh, Infamous just drops down into the crosshairs of Germs, and Critical does trade away. But Charlotte Phoenix on this eco round. I love what they did. I love what they did here, right? They just banked up all their ultimates throughout the last 6 rounds and committed basically all of them into this. They do still have that Brimstone ultimate, but again, they played contact up until they got onto the A site. The first kind of inkling that anything was up was when, of course, that Charlotte's used the Jet ultimate early on. But Charlotte were able to get onto the site, were able to get the plant, and then we're able to use their ultimates to slow down MMG on their retake. And if they so needed, they had the Brimstone ultimate at the end there to just slow them down even more to secure this eco round for themselves. So they're right back into it. It's Anger now who's going to be busting out. Oh, no. These Brimstone players.
I don't get it, man. But, okay, we got another Odin out here. But yeah, that was the Overwatch strategy, right? Everybody just press 4 or whatever the ult button is, right? Like just ready, set, go. But so again, this is what you're seeing this gun used for. Is going to just pepper bullets through the wall, and so the players that are rushing to Raj, nice shot from Riley J, are able to do so unfettered. Another one, so that's 3 for the Sova player. Gets caught out in the scope while trying to get out of the nonsense. So the plant will go down. It's a 2-on-2 defend here for Charlotte Phoenix.
Yeah, there we go. Shots again, holding it down. And we see this from time to time where the support player is just able to absolutely frag out. And to have a solid anchor in your support player is so important here.
Okay.
He's considering it. Do I have to give up my LMG? Like,
for a second, I thought he was going to leave it on the ground. I really did. Oh, no. 1 up. No, Riley J's not going to go for it. He's been playing real well when he gets the opportunity.
It's been a 50-50 heads up. Yeah. You know, he lost one duel to like K-Size, I think. And K-Size was like running the Vandal. And then he was able to kill Spirit once. Spirit going for that peek. And it's going to be Zek to take him out.
Wow, with the Phantom. Nice job there from Zek. Critical stuck here in the corner. Ooh, not going to find the shot. K-Size very successful. Elevates. Nobody in heaven. Anger waiting with the Odin around long. Going to run into two players there. Zek's able to answer first and foremost, though. Infamous with the pistol versus the Odin. Infamous gets caged up.
I mean, that's a duel of his own making, by the way. Like, that's his own fault. He started all of this.
His own medicine, so to speak.
All right. Zek is able to answer back. It's still a 2v1 on this retake now, as I think Riley J just kind of has to give up the ghost here. He's got the operator. You want to hold on to that for now as we head into the 10th round. It looks like Anger might try to chase him. Oh.
Kill him. Anger really wants to save that, huh?
That's his boomstick, and it's been serving him well, you know.
So again, so when it comes to these LMGs, I think they're largely like they're just for Timmys to play, right? I want a big gun, big stuff. Let me hit the button. But realistically, we're seeing them in this kind of competitive setting. I mean, you want to spam those walls like this. I actually this strat, which is the first one where Infamous bought it. I like this. You just spam this area, and the player is just look. You see that? Player is just stuck. So it's truly suppressive fire. I really like that move. But don't try to like play Vandal angles with your Odin, please.
Yeah, he actually almost took out the Cypher from Charlotte Phoenix there. It was very close. One more bullet might have penetrated through. You would have gotten that kill. Now, it's going to be Zek to bring Riley J back into this here. And we do have to mention that means both players are basically out of armor. So at the very least, that's going on. But now they know that, of course, where the Sage was playing. And so they make a play for the A site now. They're once again back on it. They're going to be able to get another plant. And Charlotte Phoenix, we haven't really talked about the scoreline, but here on offense, they've already got 7 rounds.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic look for CLT. Chase right now. Trying to handle things. Gets revealed from the backside. Panic. Pure panic in that young man. And look, see? This is another thing that you can do. You just spam anywhere players can be kind of locked behind. We saw the window. K-Size takes it down. But you can spam that dark area as well. Nice shock dart. Can actually find the target. Second one will be good. And find more. Oh, come on. All that hard work from Riley J. And he just peeks out. Unfortunate. But it's 10 rounds in. Charlotte Phoenix with 80% of them. And everything coming up Millhouse for Charlotte Phoenix.
Chase thinking that they're going to force up for this round. Does have that Phantom. There's a Vandal coming through. I don't know if they just maybe go for like a half buy and then have to go for another half buy. They're reconsidering now.
Yeah, and they're gonna do what you said. I like the force buy call here, in all honesty, and I'm. It's funny because traditionally I've been a hater of the force buy in Counter-Strike, but I think when it comes to Valorant, you just have more tools at your disposal with character selections. That the force buys round 10 before the swap at 12. I like that move often. Spirit gonna walk in and take care of 2. Infamous though, with the pistol. Able to find one in return, so it's a 2-for-1 exchange. Anger.
This is anger management. This is just how you get your frustrations out. It's only Tuesday, but you know, every Tuesday seems like an eternity now here in work from home.
We're all experiencing new ways to get our job done, and Anger doing it with the Odin for sure here. Inspired by Infamous. Definitely the first one to bring it here. So you'll love to see that. Right now, 1 away from the half. MMG with the full save, as Jamerson kind of rooted for, now have full weaponry. So they're hoping to end this round, this half, 9-3, which, frankly, I don't think is good enough.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I'm a little surprised because they had the money for an operator and they decided to not take it. There was an extra like 2,000 credits on the Sage player for MMG. Oh my gosh, that quick peek doesn't hit that shot. They have to back away. As Infamous will find one onto Spirit. It's going to be 2-for-2 exchange here.
Oh, the duel of the fates. Odin v. Odin. Gets the kill. I love that it was Infamous to get the kill as well.
Oh, Infamous in anger. They knew exactly what they were heading into. And they just spam through the smoke, spam through the wall, and hope.
I mean, that's what you do with the weapon. You spam through smokes, you spam through wall pen. Like, that's what it's for. That's why the developers included it in the game. So I'm honestly not mad. It's the dudes on my team that buy an Ares every game and just play it like a Vandal that make me truly rage out.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Did you see how close that molly was also to where shots had planted? It gave him like some hot toes there.
Oh, yeah. Gotta get new shoes.
He was almost walking on coals. That was absolutely nuts.
One left. Cypher versus the world. And the world takes the win. Charlotte Phoenix ends the half with 10 in their pocket. And we'll go to switch sides. That means Phoenix, they only need 3 from what is widely considered to be the easier side on this map, on most maps, the defender's side. And we'll see if MMG can tackle it.
Yeah, so, I mean, this just kind of comes down to Charlotte Phoenix, you know, even if they lose this pistol round, just every time that they get a rifle round, they need to make sure that they just win those. And they have multiple opportunities to do that. But we've also seen on the one eco round that they had during their offensive side, Charlotte Phoenix were absolutely stellar, really utilizing the ultimates to kind of play back and actually come back from that weapon deficit.
That's huge. And I can't highlight that enough. I really can't. Because, you know, tac shooters are all the same in that you shoot click heads, right? The differences are your character selection, the equipment, etc. And you got to be able to use that. That will separate you from, we talk about the transplants, right? Coming from different games to the Valorant kind of natives that will excel a little bit later. That's going to be the difference. Understanding your abilities like that. MMG playing this a little slow. A is definitely their original intent. And Critical starts things off well for his team with a kill coming up out of Underground. Chase gonna molly the backside. There's a player in Heaven and a player in Dark. Left side is clear. Chase walks out of the site. Heaven wins. K-size. Takes the still shot. Also takes some leap of faith there.
That's the nice thing about Jet. Just get to jump out from window without having to take any damage there. And, you know, we didn't really even talk about the compositional differences. The only big difference, of course, is that Phoenix versus the Jet difference. And we haven't seen the Phoenix really be able to do anything. K-size, at least, has been utilizing his speed and his mobility to try to take up-close duels up against snipers and stuff. We haven't really seen the Phoenix being utilized that well from MMG.
I got to agree there. We've seen, you know, when you look at Phoenix versus Jet, they're both entry fraggers. Jet generally tends to work inciting chaos, just dash past the player playing defense. Charms shoots past 1, shoots past 2, and that's going to be a defuse for the Lone Ranger. Number 11 for Charlotte Phoenix. A nice job there for sure. But to continue the Jet versus Phoenix conversation, I think like, you know, Jet dashes in past your front line. Everybody goes, huh? And then gets shot in the back. Phoenix is more of a, you know, straight up and down. I'm going to flash around the corner and shoot him down. We saw a couple of opportunities where that actually came out from Chase, but, you know, 7-Eleven, I think, kind of spells the story there, where a lot of times that he's tried to get that done, the enemy has just been peeking or defending the angle with two different players, cutting him down, and that really kind of prevents the Phoenix player from making the impact that we're used to.
Yeah, we're not seeing the flashes being utilized really effectively. Although, there we go, Chase finds one, but Anger holding it down as he's able to get 3 before he finally falls. K-Size trades away. And wow, this offense again just shut down, and Charlotte Phoenix on the verge of being put onto map point.
Caster's favorite moment there. You know, that's literally what I just illustrated. Anger comes in and does the job, gets the one pick off of the entry, but there were so many players on Charlotte covering these angles that, you know, they've looked fantastic. That's why Charlotte has been able to get this one. I mean, in the most truncated way possible. They're playing better Valorant, and what that means is things like that. They're defending the angle with multiple people, knowing that Phoenix is going to have that flash available and is going to make those plays. They're looking out for what MMG are able to do with respects to that Odin, right? They, you know, whether they adapted the play style of buying the Odin to be funny or not, they learned that they're not going to take up mid because that Odin's going to be spamming mid the whole time, right? We saw Charlotte Phoenix adapt and move away from that, and that's why they're one away from that point.
That's one of the things that worries me, right? If you're thinking that, you know, maybe that Phoenix offers a lot more on the offense, why did you start off on the defense? Why not have, you know, a much stronger defensive composition? While that Phoenix can slow things down with the flash, it's just not as strong. This is a strong round for MMG, though, as now they're up, you know, 4v2, as their Sage is brought down low, but she'll have that healed eventually. And there we go. Now it's just brought down to the 1. And we've seen Shots do some great things, but in a 1v4, it's going to be a difficult task.
It's a 1v3, but you are correct. Chase hears you and picks it on up. 3 kills for the Phoenix player. Nice job there. Too little, too late is obviously the conversation to be had, but, you know, I'm going to, I actually think, you know, Phoenix is better suited to be offense, sure. But I think defense first is kind of the play, because you get a bead on how your opponent is going to play the map, and that can better suit you for attacking. So even though you're an attack-based character, so to speak, I think I still agree with the idea of going defensive first, but clearly things aren't working in their favor at the moment, so. Nice shots.
Ooh. Yeah, nice trade away. And they've got the rest to work with, and so they will actually bring Infamous back in. Walled off over here at Garage, as Chase is going to use that run it back to try and find more.
Oh, left side, got to be aware, picks him off. And that's the usage of that ultimate. Shots, though, able to answer on back. Spike picked up. MMG originally left it and we're playing for contact. Now we've gotten that contact, and with 1 player left to play defense, MMG looking directly at the C site. Charms, though, did it before. Can he do it again? Thinking about it, grabbing the op. Perfect time for the ult. Doesn't see anybody. Love that play. Trades back for the semi-auto. Goes for the full. And now it's probably going to be an aggressive push here, since he opted for the Phoenix instead of the other 2 options. Charms has 1 down left and 2 players on the right side. 1 hiding in the back right there. So now just to the left and to the right. Deals, looks at the wrong spot. And MMG 4 strong on a tear.
Again, though, Charlotte Phoenix just need 1 round. They just need 1 round, while MMG have to run it back. Still 9 in a row, but at least this is a smart look currently. Now Charlotte Phoenix are going to be on this eco. We do have some heavy armor buys coming up from K-Size and Shots, and you know, I can't disagree. Now we do have a Bucky, and again, they're on the defense. They can do they can go for these kind of more cheesy buys and be a little bit different in how they do the economy here, as it looks like K-Size is going to go aggressive with the knives out, not able to hit the shots.
No, not the greatest look. 4 players up now for Charlotte Phoenix. Infamous with a real gun. Pushing up into B site. Likely going to smoke off the B connector. And will. Pops a molly, just in case. Garage going to be refocused on by Mamba.
I'm so confused by this play.
Yeah. I thought that was a full in B side. Like, they're going to split it up, though. Send the spike over to C with a full B fake. Interesting choice. Sova's not buying it. And I think MMG has taken a little too long to completely sell this fake. And now with some gun noise on the left side of the map, Zek wins the fight. And everybody knows it's C. Spike's going to be planted. 1 player coming up from long. MMG know about it because of the tripwire. Pop, pop. And it's a trade. Brimstone, the only one left. And Anger trying to climb back here versus what was 3, now just 2. 22 HP. Fake defuse. Waits for 1. Can't get it. Attackers win. Another one in the bucket. 5 for MMG. Can they do it?
It was still a good effort for Phoenix there. We have to remember that that was an eco round. And so MMG faced a lot more trouble than they honestly should have. And I think, you know, it kind of came down to they expended a lot of utility over at the B side. And we were fairly certain it was just going to be a plant onto B because they, of course, smoke everything off. They have all of their players there. And they could have just got the plant down. But instead, in their rotation, they ended up kind of bleeding away some members there. Now MMG playing a little bit of default here. We got one over at C. Most people holding over at mid, waiting for some sort of kind of cheesy push. Nothing's going to come out yet, as we have Charlotte Phoenix playing a little bit aggressive on the A side.
Great camera angle there, Cypher. B site going to be rushed into by MMG. 2.5 players. I say half. 1 backed up. And 1 dies. Riley J losing out to the sniper in mid. So MMG disadvantage with the disadvantage for the first time all half. They have really turned things around after the half. The problem is,
oh no,
too little, too late. Anger steps up, waits his turn, and now it's a 2-on-3. MMG still under the thumb. And again, this is map point for Charlotte Phoenix.
All right, we got to run it back this time around. Spirit just clears her right out. Oh boy, 2v4. They're trying to get on to the C site with this bomb. Spirit does go down.
20 seconds left to play. Everybody from Charlotte Phoenix on the other side for the most part. You've got the Jet coming from the right. Cypher coming from the left. Case size. Cuts him down. Critical. All alone. Picks off 1. Reloads. Information is known. Charlotte Phoenix knows exactly where this player is. Jet waiting. Critical listening. Pushing up. Gonna have the jump. Jet smokes. Walks away. Gets them in the back. And it's half of 12. MMG. What looked like a bad situation continues to go their way.
That was a little bit too close for comfort, you gotta say, for MMG there. And, you know, things just went disastrous for them as they try to push up through short A. They flash in, they don't check the angle, and the lurk for Anger there actually pays off. Even though he got hit by that flash, he still hits up 2 before he goes down. And that shouldn't have happened at all.
I feel that. Definitely feel that. Mid again for MMG. Pushing out his shots, and they're going to be taken down for it. Anger, though, with the 3-piece. Just like that. The 3 versus 2. Orbital strike comes out of the backside, and Zek is able to find Spirit, who's pushing up way too far. But there it is. That's the map thrifty on top of it all. Charlotte Phoenix take this one after a nice run from MMG.
Once again, I think it was like most of the eco rounds for Charlotte Phoenix, they did so much damage up against MMG, and ultimately to kind of conclude it there on an eco round, it's very indicative of like kind of what went down. Now, most of the rifle rounds, of course, on their offensive side, Charlotte Phoenix were able to win that out in almost no problem. But it was these eco rounds that really caught MMG off guard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the availability of the team to have a strong eco round is one of the bigger things, I think, in, again, any tac shooter, Valorant specifically. Get good at the ghost. Trust me. Like, having the ability to walk in, we saw a couple of players, Anger specifically, was able to grab like 2 headshots, 3 headshots on the eco round with the ghost. That saves you rounds. Even if you don't win that round, you knock down their economy. Such a big deal to be able to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, every kill ends up mattering, especially on those eco rounds, trying to do any kind of damage. But we also saw when they were on their eco rounds, or well, when they were on their offensive side, Charlotte Phoenix were almost getting a plant down every single round. And so when we're talking about economy, that's a lot of extra credit to go around. And they were able to just hold it down every single time, be able to get onto site. The kind of decisiveness on the offensive rounds is it's a very good sign and can be indicative of how successful they can be on other maps.
Just trying to figure it on out, right? I mean, this was a dominant half, 10-2 right away. Just right away off of the bat. So being able to pick that off, and again, that was on the offensive side, generally deemed to be a little bit more difficult. So as we change things up, next map is going to be Bind here, or excuse me, I have that incorrect. Where's my stuff?
No,
next
it's
map
going to be Bind.
Well, okay, same thing as last week. But we're going to see Charlotte defending this time around. And so, again, most maps are considered kind of defender-oriented. And coming into this one, I mean, if you're a Charlotte Phoenix fan, you've got to feel confident.
Yeah, they've already shown that their offense is good. Now, starting off on the defense, we'll see if they play things differently. We have to remember that, they're on the defense. They did play a little bit, I think, a little bit more different, just for the simple fact that they had a lot more rounds to work with, right? 10-2 on the half. That's absolutely nuts. It affords you to play a bit more aggressively if you want to, try to really catch them off guard, take some more risks than you would normally be willing to take. And so I want to see, I think, this map in particular to see if we do have compositional changes. Again, this time around, I wouldn't be as against the Phoenix. Phoenix, I think, plays a lot better here, both offense and on defense. And so I'll be okay with them holding on to that. I want to see if they bring in some maybe more utility, if they want to maybe swap away from the Sova and maybe go for something like the Breach, although Sova is still a very strong pick.
Sova's my guy. I'm never going to say no to Sova. I'm going to say yes to Raze. Raze here, so many type corridors to make her exciting for sure. But Phoenix as well. Yeah, being able to jump through Hookah, for example, with just the curveball and come right on through is gigantic. So if Chase is a dedicated Phoenix player, we might be able to see that again. I do like flexibility, though, in the options. And I think this is one of those maps where you can do different things. This is one of those maps where I think Viper is actually playable on because of her ability to kind of lock down those corridors, just like Raze does. Raze does it a little bit quicker, and that's why we see her pick more often. But if there are other specialists out there, we have seen one Viper player in all of our fight night, and it was on Bind.
Yeah. Still, I think Viper has like a 5% pick rate or something like that. Really,
I bet you it was majority on Bind, for what it's worth.
I'm not entirely too sure about that, but yeah, she's still, despite the quality of life changes and the buffs for her, still not being that used. I feel like right now a lot of the other agents kind of still outclass her, and especially in usability at this point, even though they've changed some of the skyboxes so that like her lineups are easier. Her wall is supposed to be placed down easier. I don't play her, so I don't really have that kind of insight on that.
Yeah, no, I'm not into Viper at all. I don't like the character.
I mean, my time is valuable. I don't have enough time to kind of like get that bounty or get that contract up.
Yeah, not the hardcore gamer. I actually spent all day the other day playing some, and Sova every game. So that's how that works out. Or you're not the Sova player though.
No. I play a lot of Brimstone, some Phoenix, but it's mostly Brimstone, and of course, if I'm that 5th pick, Sage Phil.
Phoenix surprises me. Phoenix surprises me. Brimstone and Sage make a lot of sense. I can see you being like the for the team type guy. Phoenix is always like it's always the young kid playing Phoenix on my team. Like, all right, guys, I'm my shotgun. Let's go.
Yeah, like, my Phoenix is kind of terrible. Basically, I look at his utility as, oh, I've got 3 heals. Like, okay, that's great. That's basically all it is. I don't think I ever really use his abilities for like actual utility. It's just I've got heals, you know.
You're the absolute worst. Yeah, man. I say you're the worst. I do the same thing. Rather than like line up my arrow for the cool like best recon vision, as soon as they smoke, I just arrow in the smoke and then try to make the highlight play because I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think my extent for Sova is just like, you know, it's post plant. I just got the bomb down, and so I'll just like bounce 2 of his shock darts into the air, and just run away. And, like, I'm that kind of player for Sova.
I just don't buy shock darts.
Really? You should at least buy it on the offense. It's great for doing that at the very least.
I have started to buy shock darts, but realistically, I just play gunplay, and then, you know, I Hanzo all things. Like that's my whole approach to the game. Let me shoot you.
Take a look at this composition coming out from Phoenix. No Sage for them. Instead, Shots is going over to the Omen. Churms is picking up the Raze. And K-Size is swapping over to the Phoenix.
Okay, cool. And so I like this one. Phoenix and Jet kind of do the same thing. I feel like Jet works better in maps that have heavy open areas, and Phoenix works better in maps with the ability to come around corners with that curveball flash. So we see that switch up for the DPS, and then because Jet's gone, you need to pick up the smoke elsewhere, which is why we see the Omen player come on through, switching up from the Sage. So you still have 2 smokes here, one from Omen, one from Brimstone, but you've changed things up to, you know, perhaps the more suited DPS call. Long B is the push, and MMG or Charlotte Phoenix are aware, and they're gonna back off just a little bit. MMG still trying to hammer this nail.
Yeah. There we go. Oh my gosh. Nice swinging shot coming out from Shots. It does get traded away though, but it's K-Size picking one more up, and MMG taking heavy losses over here at B.
Looks like 1 or 2 players still alive here from Mamba. Critical just barely, and scratch that at all. So it's 1 versus 3. Charlotte Phoenix again with the advantage, and again with the first round win. 3 players standing.
No, we were able to talk about the composition for Charlotte Phoenix, but MMG have swapped things up just a little bit, as it looks like they did opt for no Sova, and we'll go ahead and pick up the Raze instead. That's Riley J picking that up. And like you said, Raze, you know, being picked up by both sides. She's incredibly strong on this map. Just what her paint shells do post plant, or, you know, just entry. It's absolutely absurd.
Showers, hookah, U-Haul. Not just things I do on a Friday, but perfect places for Raze to hang out with those abilities. Like right here, Raze just tosses the nade in, and there's nothing you can do. You know what I mean? She looks really, really good on this map. Anger walks up, picks off 1, can't find the second. Chase has the double barrel. Doesn't get any of them off. Shots, on the other hand, able to assist MMG, 1 standing. I thought he was there too. And that's that. Nice job. 2 in a row for Charlotte.
Yeah, kind of weird utilization of abilities there, because I believe MMG's Molotov from the Brimstone came out on top of the bomb before Charlotte Phoenix were even pushing onto it for that post plant. And so that could have been some utility that could have been better suited for later on in the round. But now this is going to be the big test. MMG full rifle buy versus Charlotte Phoenix's buy. Now we do have, I believe, an operator in the hands of 1. There it is. It's Spirit who's got it. He's going to try and peek out over here long.
And this is the right call. There's the Phoenix coming in through the clutch. But the shot still wins. Spirit was the op player last map. Looks like he's going to reprise that as well. Nice moves from Riley J, though. Good shots. Riley J is the sniper player for MMG.
Out of charges.
Riley J's dropped down to 2 HP. Will get healed as they do have it available. Let's see. There we go. We got the Phoenix coming in from Hookah now. They know he's coming this way, but Churms just is able to get one kill.
Don't forget, Riley J was low HP, so that was just spam through the wall real quick. Bomba comes on through. Again, it's a 3-on-3 here. Zek cuts it down to just 2 opponents. And Infamous does the job as well. MMG getting involved a little bit earlier here on map number 2 than they did number 1. So a very, very nice look for Mamba.
That was a great response. Now, I think they approached that long B peak properly, right? They flash it off and throw down to slow so that whoever's stuck over there can't just get behind cover. They ended up just losing a duel somehow. Spirit finds one kill, but in response, MMG end up pushing very heavily through Hookah there. You saw the Raze player coming up from behind, catching both of them out. And so individual play, but along with team play was really good for that round now. We do have the Bucky here for case size as he's just holding in Hookah now.
This is usually where you see the shotgun players, Bucky, Judge, otherwise. But instead, MMG are looking to come through long, and they're looking to come through fast as well. Here comes a couple of players, and the spam through the smoke is unsuccessful. 5 players strong. A little bit of nonsense over on the A side, but it's all about B, it seems like.
Yeah, Charlotte Phoenix already got the response. They've got 3 members down here. They've had 4 just before this, but again, holding that angle with that Bucky inside Hookah could be important for the rotations that are coming through. Spirit pushes through the smoke and finds 2.
There's a player on the other side as well. Spirit walked past one of the guys. Now has to be careful. Comes on in, picks up a gun. Scratch that, the third was taken care of by the teammate. There's the shotgun and the long range. So it's a 1 versus 2 now. Riley J, as I said, the sniper player by default, so not just substituting on the op. This is a hard one.
Angle.
Finds the shot. Up and down. Nice job for Charlotte Phoenix, not sweating it there, but a wonderful attempt from MMG.
Yeah, one of the difficult things for Charlotte Phoenix there is I don't think they had like 100% vision on bomb, and they were trying to play around it for as much as possible. You saw a little bit of a mistake, especially on that Phoenix wall there, that gave him the angle to work with. And so this was a little bit closer for Charlotte Phoenix than I think that they wanted. But again, this is one of those eco rounds that Charlotte Phoenix really does come back from. MMG need to be careful on that. Need to give them a little bit more respect on that one, because it's oftentimes these eco rounds for Phoenix where they do so much damage to MMG. Oh no!
Right now, here comes the orbital strike. Going to be just barely avoided.
That was his own team's orbital strike, by the way.
Oof. The player comes through. And it's a 4-on-5. Now Sova has picked off 1 with the ult. And now it's a 3-on-4. Charlotte Phoenix is still in the advantage.
Yeah, I was singing MMG praises before this, and now I kind of want to take it back. You saw there was some mistakes. Infamous, though, just pulls off that spray a little bit too early. Try to just at least slow down the defuse. But again, that Brimstone ultimate, bringing his own teammate down to 50 HP, that's not a good thing at all, especially when there could have been armor in play. He was maybe like 2 or 3 pixels off from trying to clear out U-hauls. But again, the play is what? You just wall off truck, get the orbital strike down on U-haul, and then you push off of that to gain a bit more control on A. but you don't even have to play for U-Hauls there at that point. But I don't know if it was just a misplay coming out from the breach, or excuse me, from the brimstone or from the raise. It could have been either.
Really nice recon dart there. Shock dart. Another one. They're so cheap that you can just toss them out there. Nice spray transfer there. Churns coming on through in the clutch. 2 in a row. Shot's going to miss here from Spirit. Just firing blindly into the smoke. Chase, though, hiding behind the box. Now willing to pop up on top. Riley J looking for a wide flank.
And Riley J's done that a few times. Okay. All right, Chase. Yeah, sure.
Chase is excited about that one.
Yeah, these are often known angles to at least, be holding and such. So not too surprising, but it's still a nice shot.
Yeah, it was a small movement. I'm impressed. Sheriff shots are always fun to kind of look at. Time ticking down here for sure. 7 seconds, no, 27 seconds, I believe. So we've got Phoenix versus 3. Like you said, Phoenix has all the heals in the world, so gonna be fine. Dashes on through. Gotta get it down. Time in the red. Doesn't even have the spike, so needs the kills. And I don't think they're coming. Just kidding. Finds 1, but that's likely to be it here. Picking up the op is huge. That will change things a little bit for MMG.
Yeah, I didn't take a look at what Phoenix's money situation was quite like going into that. But hey, never mind. Spirit's just going to be able to get another operator right back into things. So we'll see how this one plays out. Last time it was a duel between Sovas, but it's going to be critical to pick up the operator this time around. And I've seen Critical kind of move things around. He's been playing some bathroom over for them as well. But it looks like this time for MMG, it is going to be a push on to the A site.
They're going to start at 1 man down as Anger picks 1 player off. And a second as well. So nice look. And just like that, defenders are able to quickly take this one away.
Man, Charlotte Phoenix just really kind of riding off that momentum for that last round. Now, this is absolutely absurd. They've got 6 rounds as MMG was only able to pick up 1, and that was that rifle round again. But it was that 3rd round rifle, right? After the pistols, after Charlotte Phoenix have already committed into the 2nd round, and so they're going to have some SMGs on their defense. MMG, I don't know what they can do to really try and change things up here. As again, they've only found success that 1 round.
Yeah, on the other hand, Charlotte Phoenix have had 6 go their way. A much different scenario here for our 2 teams. Charlotte Phoenix starts this one off good. And 3 for 2, make it a 4 for 2. All of a sudden, it's 1 versus 3. MMG, the lone player on their side. Churm's going to be teaming up with 1 more to fight down Infamous. Infamous does not have his Odin, and he does not have his life either. Lucky number 7 for Charlotte Phoenix.
Oh boy, it's looking like we're just completely repeating what happened on Haven here as Phoenix. If they can get 10 rounds and then swap off to the sides, their offense becomes that much easier. They can go for a lot of cheesy plays. Swapping from the defense to the offense with a huge lead is so massive. It's so massive because taking those risks on the offensive end, it can pay off more often times than on the defense, right? On the defense, just by playing default, like you just end up winning rounds. But on the offense, you pull out some cheese. I think, the chances of those winning pretty high.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Gotta keep those percentage points up, right? But here, more percentage points for Charlotte Phoenix. As a kill goes in their direction. A lot of ordnance in U-Haul, man. Orbital strike comes down, but the plant is already on the mark. Germs coming around, finds the molly. Pusher. Okay. Push or pull was the call, and push was the decision. So another one goes to the Phoenix.
Yeah, Charlotte Phoenix is just so good right now. Their reaction to these, especially having, of course, a 5-man retake is great, but the timings on a lot of their pushes for these retakes have been absolutely stellar now. As at this point, MMG, oh boy, they're down so far, and they haven't been able to find success. They've been able to get these bomb plants, but what do they do differently? Is it post-plant positions that are really screwing them, or is it just individual duels that are just not able to win right now? It's just Charlotte Phoenix on point. It's hard to tell which one it is, because Charlotte Phoenix are doing both correctly. They're winning their duels, and their retakes are fantastic.
I think it has much more. MMG has looked better when they've been able to kind of play a little bit more together, I want to say, which seems like a big dub. Charlotte are just winning the gunfights, I say, as they lose their gunfight there on the entry. And that seems to be the biggest hurdle for me from MMG's perspective. Oh, man, the duck hunt's good. 2 down on Charlotte, though. MMG still have the advantage. They're on side of the site, and they're cutting them down. So K-Size locked in the labs with an op. And that's that. Attackers are able to take it the second round of the contest. So nice look here from MMG. Jamerson, too little too late or just in time?
I think it's still too little too late. This is, of course, that last round was basically a recreation of the first round that they actually won out early on, right? In that third round of this half. They recreated that same thing where they push up through long, they throw down smoke, they throw down the flashes, and then they advance. That round, they were stifled by Spirit, and they were able to come back with a heroic play coming up from the Rays, who got a flank. This time around, they're not going to try and recreate that. It's a little bit slower on the push this time. But, hey, it's going to be another B play for them.
And it's going to be another entry frag for them. Zek starts it off hot, but the long-range shot from Charlotte Phoenix is going to equalize everything. 3-on-3. Charlotte trying to joust their way out of this. And another trade is had. One player left. It's Phoenix. Phoenix versus Infamous. The one-on-one.
Oh.
Nice snap.
Yeah, K-Size gets spotted out there, and he doesn't have time to get the plant down, but he does at least pick up the operator.
And an 8-4 split would be a lot better than what happened last time.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. A lot of things would be a lot better than the 10-2 half. But here's the problem. They just never did kind of critical economic damage to Phoenix. Yeah. And Phoenix were just able to continue to buy out here. And so we're going to see that coming out from them. It's going to be a full rifle round buy. MMG, they'll have some great tools to work with here if that Phoenix can really use that run it back. But Spirit changes up his angle and is able to get it over at Hookah. And Zek isn't able to get the respawn, the revive, and K-Size comes up huge. Oh, Phoenix.
Hitting the gas. Curveball. Left side, no one in the corner, gets the information, player all the way back at spawn. Shots is going to take the short way and get short down. I don't know what I said, but I don't know what happened. Player just died there. Phoenix going to be taken down. K-Size finds it, and that's the way to end the half.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, slice and dice, baby.
Yeah. That happened. We end the half with the knife. We don't really get to see that often, but generally, you know, when I'm playing Phoenix, that's how it goes. That's like I try to find like a nice little pocket for myself so I don't get knifed right when I come back. But every single time, I die on my way back.
I gotta say it though. You know, that's the lowest tier knife. The elf sword, lowest tier knife by far. I'm still mad about the hatchet. Riot, if you never bring the hatchet back, please just hook my account up. The charge down B long is an odd one and an unsuccessful one. Infamous is able to trade twice and a third. And all of a sudden, MMG have the advantage, but K-Size with the flank shows up, puts him down. 1v1 is taken, and K-Size wins it.
How did he hit that last one? I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
He's 15, 4, and 1 for the Phoenix player on the Phoenix team. Spirit, the lead frag, 15, 8, and 3. Why is 15, 8, and 3 considered above 15, 4, and 1?
The assists, I think, just count for more. Yeah, I think it's more weighted on the combination of assists and kills.
Word.
Oh,
not great, but a trade out. Chase, however, answers the second one with the stinger. Look at that. The little boy SMG getting the big boy plays. Anger, on the other hand, with the rifle. Able to pick off 2 as well. Charlotte's still 3 strong, dealing with 1. Make it none. Attackers win. This one goes to 11.
Yeah, it's MMG that's running a cipher, but it's Anger there that was able to download them and just got that read and just had the perfect angles and held it there. Wow, Charlotte Phoenix. Very rarely do we get through our first best of 3 within an hour, but here we are.
And this is, it's fun. No disrespect to MMG. In fact, all respect to the Mamba mentality. I really, that's something that's near and dear to my heart for sure. But listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I just love a good old-fashioned beatdown sometimes. Is this going to work? Whoa, that's sick. But Shots doesn't care. Just walks into the fire. Smokes off back labs. Charlotte Phoenix pushing through here. Gets 1. And the trade out is good for Chase, who's on the site. Picks down K-Size as well. Uses the ultimate. Doesn't just feed into the orbital strike. That could have been a bad call. Breach is waiting. Here's a secondary. 2, make it 1 left, 0 Charms. A beautiful play with the Bulldoggy and able to cut him down 1 away from tournament point.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we're seeing a lot more Bulldog play here. Now, of course, this is off the back of kind of just the economy of the early rounds, but as we do have the swap offs, we got plenty of Vandals in them in play. 12-3 right now. Oof.
You see why I said it's over?
Yep.
I mean, MMG, this is where they come back from it, right?
I still think it's at this point at a 25% success rate.
I don't know. He's equipped. Here it is. Where's the Odin going?
No one's anywhere near him right now. As they're all onto the B site, slowed down once again, of course, by their own Molly. But K-Size is already pushed all the way up. And here comes the rotation now, as that Odin moving over to B main. Sherm's watching the flank.
Couple of people trying to come on through. Here's Zek running around, and that Odin spamming a wall. Pop, pop comes Spirit. Starts off hot with the op shot. Whoa, good angle from Riley J. 2 for the Rays player. 5 HP and a dream here. Teammate gone. Riley J gone. MMG gone. Charlotte Phoenix moves on to the finals.
And that was just a dominant performance coming out from Charlotte Phoenix. And this is kind of what we were expecting. This is a team that have been playing together for quite some time now, practicing together for quite some time. They've been getting very respectable results throughout all the tournaments that have been going across, just haven't been able to make it really. like strongly through like upper brackets and stuff like that. But we're seeing why that this is a name that maybe we should be looking out for more, and that maybe we'll be making some more waves up in like the tier 1 right now. Currently, with this kind of performance, we'll see exactly if they can kind of recreate this. They just kind of speed ran through this first best of 3 though.
Exactly, and this is what's fun when we look at emerging esports scenes. fdot and Jamerson here on Tuesday night fight night, and when we see this thing sort of happen, we see those big name tournaments, and then everybody needs kind of these grounds to essentially grind, right? And what's happened with Fight Night is that we've started with just a couple of college teams, a couple of Sam and his 4 boys hanging out, and now we've kind of risen to these like dedicated rosters. Way2French from last week is a team looking for a sponsor. Charlotte Phoenix is a sponsor. That's an organization, with an ex-Counter-Strike professional on the squad, and we're seeing this elevation, so to speak, of the gameplay for sure. And I mean, this is why we sign up. So I'm excited to see this kind of this charge forward with respect to how well they're playing.
Oh, yeah. Again, we have to say that this is still like the early days of the scene. There's still a lot of talent to be developed and to be discovered. And so right now, having the multitude of tournaments that we have, I mean, I feel like there's one tournament every single day of the week right now for Valorant. And that's just a lot more exposure for a lot of these players, and also just the experience of playing in kind of a tournament format.
That's me. Exposure, whatever, dude. Get better at the game. And that's what this is for. Like you said, Jamerson, there's a tournament almost every single day. Esports is crazy. If you can't keep track, go to Juked. Juked will give you the schedule for all the games around Fight Night presented by them for sure. We've got another team lying in the wings. The winners from last week are about to take on Charlotte Phoenix, and we'll see who stays on the table this time around. We'll be right back with more Fight Night.
Sidearms provide players with the most weapon diversity in Valorant. With a weapon for all occasions, players will want to familiarize themselves with all of the choices. Today we'll be taking a look at the Shorty and the Frenzy. We'll tell you how they match up to each other, how to use them, and even when to buy them. With completely different firing methods, bullet spreads, magazine sizes, and damage output, both the Shorty and the Frenzy are in a class of their own when looking at available sidearms. The Shorty is a semi-automatic sawed-off shotgun with a large and unpredictable bullet spread, even when compared to its big brothers, the Bucky and Judge. The Frenzy, however, is a fully automatic machine pistol that follows similar patterns to SMGs and rifles, with its recoil climbing before leveling out, but this little guy works best in short 3 to 4 round bursts. Spraying an entire clip from the Frenzy may look cool, but you probably won't be rewarded for it. Like all of the other sidearms, neither of these weapons offer any kind of ADS or alternate firing method. What you see is what you get. Both weapons have varied magazine sizes. The Shorty has the smallest bullet count in the game with 12, with only 2 shells available at a time. The Frenzy is a bit more forgiving in the magazine department, having 13 in each clip for a total of 52. When comparing their rates of fire, the Shorty is one of the slower firing weapons in the game, having a fire rate of 3.3 shells per second. It's important to note that the Shorty produces 15 pellets when fired. Naturally, as the Frenzy is fully automatic, it's going to boast a significantly higher fire rate at 10 rounds per second, a pinch faster than rifles, but still lagging behind SMGs. These weapons also have wildly different damage outputs and effective ranges as well. The Shorty works best within 10 meters, and each pellet will deal 36 damage to the head, 12 to the body, and 10 to the legs. This little shotgun packs quite the punch and can one-shot anyone who gets too close. While its close-range power isn't as potent as the Shorty, the Frenzy can be used a bit further away with an effective range of 20 meters. Dealing 78 damage to the head, this machine pistol can easily two-shot even a fully armored opponent. Unfortunately, with its 26 body and 22 leg damage, it's going to take at least a half a dozen shots to drop enemies with full armor. Be careful when trying to use these weapons out of their effective ranges, especially the Shorty. You'll notice very quickly how hard its damage drops off, not simply because each pellet does less damage, but because of how sporadic the spread becomes. Stick to close quarters. The Frenzy is a tad more forgiving in the ranges it can operate in. Its damage drop off beyond its golden zone of 20 meters isn't as harsh and can still secure kills, although it will require a bit more control when firing at these ranges. By now, we know these guns inside and out. But when should we expect to see them? The Shorty and Frenzy will run you 200 and 400 credits respectively, so there's no high economic commitment to pick them up. This makes them very valuable in both pistol and eco rounds. If your team is looking to play aggressive while spending as little money as possible, pick yourselves up either one of these sidearms. Once you get close enough, the Shorty will instantly kill even the most geared threats. And while the Frenzy doesn't have the precision of the Sheriff, Classic, or Ghost, it does have a much higher rate of fire, which will let you pump out as much damage as you can in the shortest amount of time. While your standard pistols are the more common choices for eco and pistol rounds, players should not make the mistake of overlooking these two weapons. Players who want to have the most success will need to familiarize themselves with all of the sidearms in Valorant. Whether you're looking for the one-shot kill power from the Shorty, or you're looking to spray your enemies down with a hail of bullets, there's a little something for everyone with these two guns. They may be small, but they're definitely mighty.
Today we'll be going over the defender side of Ascent by showing you the routes to the two sites, the basic callouts, the common spike plant locations, and the agents best suited for defending them. Let's get it. A site has way more open space than B site, which allows you to play from further angles. Defenders will want to be familiar with the entryways into A site that attackers will surely fight for. These spots are A lobby, A main, mid cubby, and A link. Now let's take a deeper look into the A site. Starting out of defender side spawn, you'll be given 3 options. 1, you can head left towards A site. 2, go straight towards mid. Or 3, move to the right, which will take you to B site. Since we're starting with A site, let's head left. You'll immediately be given 2 paths that will lead you into A site, A stairs, and A garden. Heading up A stairs will lead you both to A rafters and A window. Defending from A window gives you a higher angle on attackers that may push through A link and A garden. Take notice out of the window here. It's breakable and will always absorb the first shot. Going back to A rafters will give you a higher angle of A site. Dropping down into A site, there are many boxes and angles you can use to defend. Some notable spots are the Radianite boxes in A site, underneath A rafters, or also known as Hell, and behind the generator to the right. Pushing forward and out of A site will take you into A wine and A main. Take note of Ultimate Orb here, as this will be a contested area of the map. You will want to have a defender holding this location. If you go just past the Ultimate Orb, you'll look into A lobby with its deli and gelato shops. Be careful when peeking here, because the attacker spawn is just out and to the right. If this area is clear, you can flank into mid or attacker side spawn. Now let's turn around and go back into the A site and head left. You'll notice a doorway with a panel on the left-hand side. You can interact with this switch that will allow you to open or close the door. The door can be broken by shooting it, and heading through this doorway will take you into A link. To your right will be A garden and A window. Continuing through A link will connect you to mid cubby. Be careful of this angle. Attackers will be right on the other side of the 2 walls. Another note, the panels can be broken in order to penetrate the walls. Having a player defending this area is crucial to keeping attackers from breaking into mid and possibly breaking through to A site. When retaking the A site, you want to look out for the spike to be planted in front of the Radianite boxes and near the generator. Attackers will look to play outside in A main, up top on A rafters, and below in Hell, so check these common spots when attempting to retake the site. When selecting agents for A site, Cypher's a no-brainer. His abilities can perform so well on Ascent, he can even be played at B. Cypher can position his camera to gain intel, while his trapwires and cyber cage are a pain for attackers trying to push in. Omen's also a solid choice at A site because of its Shroud Step and Dark Cover. Omen can use Shrouded Step to change positions, making attackers second guess where he might be defending from. Dark cover allows him to hold defenders back by smoking off the entryways. Now that we got a site down, let's take a look at playing mid. Mid is definitely an area you want an agent to be holding. Due to Ascent being a smaller map, it means that players are going to be immediately fighting. Attackers want to breach from mid-top and mid-link. Once attackers have control, they can move into mid-courtyard and mid-catwalk, looking to flank A or B site. Defenders will need to be highly aware of these areas when playing mid. To get to mid from defender side spawn, just go straight. The area is narrow, which makes it great for close range weapons. As soon as you round the corner, you'll have 3 options. You can tuck into the left cubby, known as mid pizza, go straight into mid bottom, or head right into mid market. If you head into mid market, this will connect you to B site. Before we head into B site, let's turn around and cover the rest of mid. Moving into mid bottom will give you a little more room to move around, but you need to be careful as attackers will be pushing into the mid courtyard. On the left side, you'll see mid catwalk and then mid top. Attackers will spawn near mid top, so you'll want to be very cautious when peeking here. If you look to your right, you'll see mid link, which is also another area where attackers spawn, so tread lightly. Note, these walls can be shot through as soon as you break the barriers. If you continue through mid link, it will lead to B lobby or attacker side spawn. Mid can be difficult to hold because of how close the attackers spawn. Playing back into mid bottom or mid market is safer, but the angles get harder to hold. Agents that can hold mid well are Sova, Breach, and Brimstone. Sova's a favorable pick because of his Owl Drone and Recon Bot. These abilities allow him to safely gather crucial information at mid. His ultimate, Hunter's Fury, can also help shut down tight areas anywhere on the map. Breach is another solid choice if you choose to play a little more passively. Breach can peek with the help of his flashpoint, and he can also use his fault line and rolling thunder to fight back attackers trying to push into mid. Brimstone's Sky Smokes can cut off important areas like mid top and mid link, making him a worthy pick for mid as well. Orbital Strike, his ultimate, can also be used globally to help cut off attackers pushing into objective areas. That's a wrap on mid. Let's move to B. B site is split into 2 areas, an upper and a lower side. The upper contains a tool shack.
What up, demons? It's your boy fdot and Jamerson here for our final half of Fight Night. And we've got 2 teams that look pretty damn good, honestly. Charlotte Phoenix just came through and blew out the contenders, blew them out of the water by far. And they're going up against Way2French, the squad that beat our team from last week. If you're new to Fight Night, the way it works is you win here and you stay on the table. Next week, we've got 2 teams that come in and they've got to face each other before they can face you. So that's what Way2French did, and they toppled our previous winner, Jamerson, who was kind of here for a couple of weeks. So this is Way2French's first shot at defending their title.
Yeah, and they're going to have to defend it against Charlotte Phoenix, who, you know, they took their 2 maps very dominantly today. I don't know how much, if Way2French was watching, they're able to really glean from what Charlotte Phoenix were doing. Because first off, you know, they started off on Haven on the offense. And so you didn't really get to see much of like what their defense really looked like on Haven and how to break that down. And so I don't think Way2French learned too much from Haven, but from Bind, it could have been a different thing to really look out for exactly how Charlotte Phoenix plays. But it's still very, I would say it was particularly kind of default for the way that Charlotte Phoenix played it. It wasn't anything too different. And so they could still have plenty of, you know, tricks up their sleeve to really pull out. So Way2French really are going to have a tough ask of them this week to defend their title.
Oh, word. Yeah, when it comes down to it, I mean, when you look at a team like Charlotte Phoenix, when you're waiting in the wings and you're watching the 2 contenders play, you go, okay, let's see, like, you know, what level are you guys? And clearly, Charlotte Phoenix is level 60 with epic armor, right? So now we got to figure out, how do you individually play? I'm no longer looking at like, do you know the strat? Do you know the map? Clearly you do. Duh, you just won like that. So I need to look for individual prowess. I'm looking at Anger being kind of this star power guy going to be playing on the Brimstone. I'm looking at the fact that they brought both Jet and Phoenix on 2 separate maps, so they have DPS swaps, right? I'm looking at the fact that they are willing to play Sageless compositions. Those are the things that I'm taking from round 1 into the finals for sure.
Yeah. Again, though, even when they did play the Sage, they didn't heavily rely upon like Sage's ultimate.
Right.
Now, of course, the slows and the walls were great, but it was never a factor where they needed to use a res to really win back around. More oftentimes, the res was kind of more just economical for them. So them not running the Sage, I think, is fine. But on Haven, kind of necessary at this point, just the way that she can play, or especially controlling around B site, both on offense and on defense, is kind of necessary. Try and slow down his pushes. So I think, you know, that's kind of the primary reason why they played that Sage early on. But yeah, like you mentioned, them playing Stageless is actually a really strong sign for them.
And it's something that I asked it, I think starting week number 2, man. I was like, so do we need Sage every comp? And that was kind of my go-to Phil question, because, spoiler alert, I haven't found Sage necessary even before the nerfs. So now seeing teams kind of like come around and being like, all right, we don't necessarily need this character. We can look at other directions. That's kind of a nice look for me, kind of seeing teams mature here. Looking at our first map, though, we're going to be jumping into Haven here. So a nice 3-site map to look at. And that's B-side, I guess, right? We've made that decision. I'm not allowed to ask this question anymore.
It is 100% B site.
Everyone hates me for this conversation. I just don't see it. I got to look it up. But all right, 3 sites here. How you feeling?
Again, this is one of those places where you do want to have a Sage. I don't think she's absolutely necessary, but it just leaves up the opportunity to make, you know, the place for B. I think that's one of the most important parts, that you've got those options. You can go A, B, or C, but the simple fact that, you know, there are these set plays on the offensive side to cut up B and be able to get the plant. It's similar to how bind works, right? On the offense, you have that default play on A where you just push up short, you go ahead and wall off, and then you get the plant, and there you go. Easy plant. Now it's worrying more about your post plants. There's a similar thing on B, and I think just leaving your options open for that is going to be super important.
Definitely something we want to look at is understanding these base plays. Haven, as we said, is our first map. How do you rank this one? Is this 1, 2, 3, or 4 for you personally?
I still love Haven.
Same, man. Same.
I still love Haven. Even though, you know, sometimes as a defense, you can feel a little bit stretched thin.
I love it.
I think it's a bit more balanced than all the other maps right now. So I like it.
I feel that. I've been hitting. Yesterday I hit matchmaking or Sunday I played what day is it? I played matchmaking for kind of the first time since the ranked introduction. You know, played all day, got some wins, got some losses, but overwhelmingly I found that players didn't like Haven anymore. And I you know me, I'm like a natural interview guy, right? So I'm like, so why don't you like it? And everyone just said, I just played it so much in beta. Like, I think players are just over it, but this still remains a great map.
I agree. I completely agree right now, as we do have triple stack from Way2French here on the A site.
Good call.
Nice little boost for Nano to work with here.
Bomb coming down from underground. Looks like all the players going to be coming out of here. Just one on Charlotte opting to go down long. I like this call. They can't be steamed from the player on top of the box, whether they know about it or not. Still doesn't matter. Lands to the slaughter. And we're eating gyros tonight. 1 for Way2French.
Yeah, just it was great coming out for them again. They peeked at the right time. I believe they heard them, and then it just peeked out, got the 2, fell back, and then had, of course, the box player Nano peeking out from above and just completely decimated them at that point. So Charlotte Phoenix are going to take that L, move on to the next round here. Taking a look at how Way2French kind of invested into this round, there were a couple SMGs here, and so this is where now they're not going to go for that triple stack once again on A. They've got one player over on the B side, and that's going to be the Raze.
You know, it was interesting. The way we saw Charlotte kind of enter that site looked like they were playing around the boost box, and then they just still died to it all. You know what I mean? Like they played against that wall. Entry frags going to the defenders. 3 for 2 so far. Anger. The XCS Pro still alive here. That's 1 versus, well, Defenders take it just like that. 2-0, Way2French, ready and waiting.
Way2French with some really nice set timing plays here. One of them you saw early on in the round when Charlotte Phoenix were making that initial push through short A, is that Way2French kind of snuck in a nice shock dart there, brought Spirit down to about 15 HP, along with K-Size down to about 40 HP. So a huge value shock dart early on, especially when you're playing with like lower damage numbers with pistols and with the SMGs. It's massive.
Definitely a big deal. I mentioned before how like sometimes as a noob, I used myself as an example, I don't buy shock darts often. First round is a time when you definitely want to think about it because of the overall lack of power across the board. Spike down. Melio, excuse me, waiting here, turns around, picks up another gun, grabs another kill. The download is secure. And the torrent is good. Shots, however, not so much. K-Size wins the trade. It's 2 versus 2.
Yeah, they got one player up on top right now as Phoenix are going to be able to regroup and get all 3 members over to the A site as smokes come down from Way2French as well.
Here comes Anger, just looking to plant it. Players marching on in, and Incred able to pick off 1. Hughes grabs the second and 2 for the Sage player. And that is 3-0, baby. Way2French starting off hot.
Yeah, that's a great round to take because we see a lot of teams end up struggling after taking, of course, the pistol round and then the ensuing anti-eco round there. It's that third round, the rifle buys, where they end up, having to fight Phantoms and Vandals versus some SMGs at that point. Way2French able to hold that one down. And taking the losses that they did, that just means, of course, now coming into this fourth round, they're going to have rifles all the way through. Phoenix, though, are going to be struggling on the money. We'll see exactly what they try to pull out here. And it's going to look like it's going to be mid-control. Nano on the boost on the box.
Oh, I don't like this angle from K-Size. Pushing up with the Sheriff, and he's going to tell me I'm dumb. Nice, beautiful shot there from the jet main. Incredible.
Down you go.
Through the smoke. Oh, baby. A double. And the other players on the other side of the site. So Way2French now trying to do their best, and Incredible coming off just all 3 kills belong to him.
Yeah, Anger does find one, though, as he tries to slow this down. Melio is one of the players that we were really looking at last week, and he's showing us out why once again. Nice aggressive push onto Anger to be able to clear him out, and that's going to be the defuse for Way2French. Now, one thing I will say, Charlotte Phoenix, of course, this is one of those plays that we're talking about, right? Wall off, that's why you need the Sage, and then just get onto the site.
Right.
Got a little bit too greedy, right? We had the smoke off there from K-Size, and it looked like he was trying to recover a gun. And during that run over is when I believe he got hurt, and it was incredible just spamming him through that smoke that took him out. He had a nice post plan, I would say, especially with the positioning of the wall that a lot of people wouldn't have expected him to be on that boost. I feel like he could have just held that angle instead of getting a little too greedy for that gun.
Got to agree there. You got to play the game that the gun has given you. But here's Meal walking up and losing the op. Not the greatest look there, but the trade out on C Long is certainly strong here. Charlotte Phoenix. Spirit wants that one back.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait about 20-30 seconds now.
Nice wall to protect.
Wow. The dieback.
Unforge. Very unforge. Way2French's snapshots have been really impressive. Just truly embodying the notion of click on heads.
Yeah, this is the first time today where they're really getting challenged on these rifle rounds, where when it comes down to aim versus aim, they're just not able to just out-aim their opponents, right? They do have to worry about Way2French right now. Yeah. So we do have the slow orbs coming out, and they have 40 seconds. They don't have to commit to a C site, but there we go. If the stage goes down with the bomb, that would have been trouble, but she's backing this up, and they can make a play for B. They can make a play for A, as they've already gotten the rotation out from Way2French.
They're running. Charlotte Phoenix is booking it towards Beta. And that's going to be their spot. 20 seconds on the clock. They've got to go now. Players are filtering onto the site. And Nano from the front side gets the kill. Beautiful usage of the ultimate. Not putting themselves in harm's way. 7 seconds. And that's going to be another win for Way2French. 2 players on Charlotte will save.
Yeah, that's just the power of Raze. Just spam your abilities, get rid of the wall, and then just go ahead and toss in that showstopper there. So again, I would say Charlotte Phoenix, you know, just a little bit slow on that take, even though they got the rotation out. To go for the B side, I think, might have not been the optimal play. I think they could have taken a little bit more time to go over to A, where they already know that 2 players were over by C sites. If you're just expecting the one over at A, it would have been a lot easier for them to just play plan for default.
5 rounds in, Charlotte Phoenix, who very quickly got us to the end. I won't have this stat till next week, but perhaps the quickest 2 games that we've seen in the long storied history of Fight Night. But now struggling to find even a single round victory here, Jamerson. I mean, that is a whiplash effect for sure.
It's K-Size this time around that swaps off for that operator, picks it up. The mill, not to be outdone. So we've got the orbital strike coming down, incredible push all the way up the double doors.
Incred has 2 players behind, and he's going to get behind, and Way2French way ahead. Half of 12. 11, 2, and 3 from Elio. That's it's almost 2 kills around here. Insane.
And if you take the assists into account as well, that's over 2 kills around.
Yeah.
Or kills and assists over so far. And yeah, Melio, again, one of those players that we're looking out for, along with Mill. Or I guess, I don't know. Some people said it might have been Mile. I see 2 L's. It's going to be Mill.
I've said Mille because French Millborn is like a game that I'm aware of. So, so Mille might be the way to do it, but French is not a language I am versed in. Lo siento.
Aggressive push out through mid. I'm surprised that Way2French maybe aren't starting the rotates already.
Nobody's
hear
here.
Nothing over at window. They don't hear anything over there.
Nobody's here. Jet's gonna dash onto the site. Melio's up. Finds 1 through the smoke. Thanks, Sova. Finds 2 through the smoke. Thanks, Sova. All I do with Sova. That's all I do with
camera.
This camera. I just want to thank you, Melio, for actually providing us with a beautiful angle. More shots through the smoke, thanks to some sonar. Melio on top, bro. Like, fantastic. Anger in a very bad spot here. Way2French just gonna take it, but Melio here, listen, we watched him kind of outplay players with pure gun skill. That one right there was just understanding how to work off of his teammates' abilities. Love that.
Yeah, that was just honestly a perfect display of team play and really utilizing the strengths of your abilities here, and goes to show why it's so important to understand the ins and outs of it and being able to coordinate with your team. Way2French, 7 rounds in a row. Now, Charlotte Phoenix, they really ran away with their series and you know, made a good argument for putting up a fight up against Way2French coming into this series, but Way2French now just completely blowing them out of the water so far. Here in the 8th round, Mill's going to start it off once again. Anger goes down first.
Tough stuff here. 5-on-4.
Cage triggered.
Charlotte thought about C. Immediately lost their anchor player. And K-Sai is going to win that trade, so a 4-on-4 here. Charlotte rethought C, now giving it a 3rd thought. Shots got poked through the wall for 80% of the life bar. Not a great position to be in for sure, but the charge up C long is good. Charlotte Phoenix find another kill. K-Size has been really one of the only players to repeat their performance from match 1 to match 2.
Yeah, right now, of course, it is a difficult task, right? Starting off on the offensive side now. But this time around, this is their opportunity to finally get around on the board. K-Size with the spray gets the 4K. And it looks like Charlotte Phoenix should finally secure one as Cherms finishes that off. But I don't know if they can really recreate this, if they've done enough economic damage. No. Way2French just have so much money in the bank. Charlotte Phoenix need to win one more in a row to try and get that anti-eco round to try to really equalize things here.
It'll be tough equalizing. I mean, this is one of those situations that Charlotte found themselves on the other side of, last time around. In match number 1, they finished game 1 with a 10-2 split at the half. And match number 2, I think, was 8-4, if not 9-3. Charlotte Phoenix now is down 7-1. I mean, they've got to win 4 in a row in order to make this kind of an acceptable trade. And that's not out of the realm of possibility, frankly speaking. But Way2French have, both hands around the throat. Nano
starts it off. They do have the res for this, but they've already committed the wall onto the left side.
Oh, that's the stuff we do like. Nano gonna kick the kill. Good job there. Fires her ult through the smoke. Anger able to find one as well. So 2 players down on Charlotte, but Anger not willing to go down without a fight. Takes one and cuts Way2French's numbers to 4. $50 seconds. Spike just now planted. That fuse is 45, right?
Yes.
So we'll have the defense all the way down long. Misses the first shot.
Kill my allies.
That's a scary angle to hold.
Ouch.
2 players left to retake. And Charlotte Phoenix turning on the Jets, baby. Here's the orbital. And Anger, 1 versus the world.
Concentrate, Sova.
And it's just meal that's available. And that's it. Gotta run, gonna run. Gonna save the op. And Charlotte Phoenix, 2 in a row now.
Yeah, despite taking that loss, that was a pretty big save coming out from them. Heavy armor along with that operator for Mill. So that's a huge save for them. Again, though, Charlotte Phoenix need to win one more out to... Never mind. No, even with the max loss bonus, Way2French are going to be good to buy back into the next round as well. So Charlotte Phoenix are still on this kind of uphill struggle. But, taking these 2 rounds in a row, really good for them now as they're trying to bounce back after that 7-round run by Way2French. Way2French, though, this double peek, I like how they do this. Nano and I forget, Mill here in the back to try and cover him. Nano actually turns around for that flick to get that kill.
That was sloppy, but they're still able to make it work. Spike Carrier is going to go down in cred with the pen shots. Way2French, 5 alive. And Phoenix, not so much. A reassessment from Charlotte. And their 3-man squad is going to head over to the east side of the map. Camera spotted. They still commit. Good call or bad call?
They kind of just have to make a play now. They're already down 2 at this point.
Oof. That's going to be 2 for the Collat Blat. Nice job there. Way2French seem to be grabbing this one rather simply. 8-2 will be the score after 10 here. And Charlotte Phoenix, again, looking down the barrel of a gun, one which they themselves held just last match. So, time to zoom out, bud. Real talk. Me and you, just barroom conversation, Jamerson. What the hell's happening to Charlotte Phoenix?
I think Charlotte Phoenix just really aren't used to playing against Raze, and I think this Raze pickup has been a great counterplay, and we've seen it, especially to B. It's been basically cutting off that option for Phoenix, and so now they've had to opt more for the A and C plays, and A and C, especially over at C, much easier to shut down in terms of the defense here. Now, K-Size here on this eco round is going to try and start things off with this Jet ultimate. We'll see if he gets anything. There's only one player on here. It's going to be Nano.
There's the boom bot. The frenzy comes on out. Everyone has that frenzy skin. I love to see it. So, K-Size specifically has been a little bit too aggressive for my tastes. He's playing the Jet. I know that's their entire game plan, but the team doesn't seem to be as on the money as K-Size has been. And here the aggression is gifted. Doesn't check the right side corner and goes down for it. Teammates are there to cover, though. And so a good look for sure. But I see a disconnect there. And I think it's hurting.
Yeah, you know, Jet's kind of just one of those characters that it's a little bit harder to play around as a team. She is one of those solo queuers, right? At this point. Oh, Mill. All right, they're just going for the safe play here. They know what their plant is. They've got this. The molly comes down.
Wow. That boy has practiced. Uh-oh. Does he have orbital?
This is no problem.
No.
He's already dead.
Already dead.
Yeah.
I love it's so funny because in all honesty, learning those Molly sites, Molly, Sova, recon darts, Viper one ways, which by the way, we have a video on our YouTube if you want to learn how to play Viper. Those are fun because they're so rewarding and like real talk, it's really not that difficult. You just like learn the spot and do it. It's not like, you know, running, jumping, have to grab the pixel shot. You just stand in the spot that the YouTube video tells you and hit the button. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It requires repetition, but it's so rewarding when teams are able to learn that stuff.
Oh, he spots one out. Isn't able to get the wall bang, though. But he knows that there's some presence over at mid right now. It's the final round of the half. Charlotte Phoenix need this desperately. 9 rounds already going over to Way2French now. And it looks like they're going to be poking and prodding once again at B. But they haven't had much success here.
Take flight.
B site going to be the charge. Charlotte Phoenix, bomb in hand. Meal is looking around the left side. K-Size going to be watching the other door. Charlotte Phoenix are going to come in and get traded out. Nano takes down shots. Churms on the good side of the other one. Incred gets a 10 kill, and all of a sudden Yu's trying to push in from the right-hand side. Way2French going to collapse from 3 different sides. One goes down in the front, and now there's 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Charlotte Phoenix, only 1 play alive, 2 play D. It's K-Size, and they're cut down to size 10-2 as we switch sides.
And again, we see why that B play hasn't been working out for them. Once again, the raise coming up huge for Way2French. Just able to slow them down and actually just do some decent chip damage with the paint shells before anything even happens. Even though he's I believe was the first to go down, Nano was. He still did a lot of work. He slowed them down. He got the Sage out, which was really important. We know in post plants how important Sage can be. Those slow orbs, the walls, everything. I'm not entirely too sure if they even use the wall on that post plant. So Charlotte Phoenix just got absolutely shut down here. Great defense coming up from Way2French, you know, playing aggressive when they needed to, playing defensive and default when they needed to, and just really having a decent read on Charlotte Phoenix's offense.
Adaptation, that's what it's about for sure. Pistol round here. Way2French, 3 away from taking it. But all our money even once more. Jet trying to maintain control of mid. We'll grab 1, but that's about it. Nice utility coming through garage. Spirit gonna shock dart and use walls him off. That could have been real dangerous for the Sage player, but they got on through. Same situation here. Shots a little bit too late to wall off, but Spirit's great. 2 for him, 3 for K-Size, and that's a 3rd round for Charlotte Phoenix. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, desperate reprieve that they needed here. So they'll have some heavy armor buys. SMGs just on one so far. They can commit a little bit more if they want to. Instead, Anger is going to go for full utility instead, and he's going to hold on to the classic. Does actually upgrade to the heavy armor. Never mind. It's going to be a full invest into this round for himself.
All right. So the upgrade here, do you agree with it or no?
No.
No.
Because if you got the light armor, I think the light armor is enough on the anti-eco round. Going for the full armor, it's a little bit much. Oh, the jump out. Ooh, K-Size gets out of dodge quickly, repositions himself onto the high ground, but he hasn't been able to take anyone down yet.
That's how you play Jet. Really well played. Really well played. Now stuck with 69 HP. Shots in garage. Gonna walk on away. Reassessment here from Way2French. Melio pushed up a little far, gets okie doked by Anger. And now 4 players up for Way2French. They got to figure out where to go.
They're still milling about over here at mid, and so it still might be a B play. So we do have the recon drone, the owl drone coming out, spots one over there, and K-Size again, a double kill before he finally goes down to Nano.
Uh-oh. Spirit answers back, though. Finally cutting down Nano. Knows there's one. Sees the gun. And we'll see you later. 2 in a row for Charlotte Phoenix. And, Way2French. Not nervous yet. But thinking about getting anxious about getting nervous. If that makes sense.
This is a huge round. If Way2French can win this, Charlotte Phoenix's money situation is going to be all over the board right now. As you can see, 2 players almost at 3K after their buys. But Charlotte Phoenix, are they going to stick with this double operator composition?
For this situation, I think they should. I think this is a slot where they can absolutely make use of it. K-Size says yes. Nice close range kills coming out from the Sage main, though. Charlotte now with the advantage, not just guns, but numbers-wise. 2 players up for WTF, and Phoenix, on the other hand, 4 strong. C-site going to be the push from the attackers here. Melio easily makes his way through garage. Spirit will be waiting here. Pop, pop. Nice snap. Spike down. Oh, awkward push. Spirit. Play with fire. Doesn't get burned. Charlotte cuts the lead to 5.
Yeah, catches both of them on that jump up animation. The operator actually works out. K-Size finding that initial pick over by Long A. Shots, of course, backing up Spirits over at C. I like that play, having that SMG in play with that operator here. Boost up attempt coming out here is Spirit having a little difficulty. We'll get on the box, and they're going to go for that same play once again. 2 members over at C site. For Charlotte Phoenix now, cutting things closer. 5 rounds on the board for them as Anger push up aggressively up through mid.
Ooh, Anger has all the info necessary, though. So 4 heads walk through mid to doors. K-Size is going to be able to pick off 1. Beautiful job from K-Size here. Even in the loss, really enjoyed what we've seen out of Charlotte Phoenix's Jet player. For sure. Nice job from shots. Shots and shots. Wow. Charlotte Phoenix have won, what is this, 4 in a row here?
Yeah, 4 in a row for them. They're really continuing off of that pistol round win. At this point, it's going to come down to the rifle rounds. And, you know, on the offense, Phoenix just weren't able to get much going on the rifle rounds for themselves. I think it might have been an eco round where they ended up winning. But this time, we'll see. Rifles versus rifles. There are still 2 operators in play for Charlotte Phoenix. K-Size has been doing a good job of changing up the angles, but this time around will play from B once more. Doesn't have support, but we'll see how this works out for him. Walls off mid-window. Doesn't spot anyone over by the garage doors.
Smoke's down.
Way2French going to leave the spike at home. And just playing for the violence. Spike picked up as the team makes their way towards the A site, rotates away from it. So not quite sure what the plan is here, but they're down a man. And so Way2French have to find which site is the best to walk on with a numbers disadvantage. Your take?
They're posturing over for A right now, but Charlotte Phoenix have already moved their way to have a triple stack over here. So this could just be a disaster for Way2French. Now, they do have the Brimstone ultimate. So if they want to clear out Dark, if they want to clear out Heaven all in one go, they can do that.
They can just do that as well. K-Size again. You know, I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Cuts them down to size. 3 for the Jet player. 17 in total. 7 belong to Charlotte Phoenix. Only 2 did before the half. And we got a ball game here.
Yeah, this is definitely within range, within reach for Charlotte Phoenix. Now 3 rounds down up against Way2French, but they've taken the last 5 in a row, and it's both sides really struggling here on the offense. Remember, I believe Way2French got, 7 in a row before Charlotte Phoenix picked up the first. And so Charlotte Phoenix, they have the opportunity. Maybe they pick up 2 more themselves before they finally go down.
We'll see if that's the case. No Odin here to spam through the smokes. Sorry, folks. Oh, K-Size misses that shot. Not a great look, but worse things have happened, I suppose. Shots falling back. Trying not to get shot by our own Sova. But Spirit's going to do the work, take down Melion. Anger cuts down in Cred and defines the secondary. There is one more creeping through mid. Left side walled off. It's just these 2. Use and the Sova player. And Cherms gets him. K-Size finds another. 8-10. Charlotte Phoenix. I mean, they're doing it. 20 and 14 for K-Size.
Yeah, max money on 3 players right now. If they want, they could take the Etihad Residence flight if they wanted to. They've just got so much money, absolutely flushed with it now. And this is where Phoenix are struggling. Phoenix played that anti-eco and have been playing every subsequent anti-eco really well. They've been showing the proper due respect, but also taking that calculated aggressive pushes when they need to. And K-Size has kind of been the spearhead for them in that regard. Now, they do have one slowed, and they had an opportunity to try and get that initial frag, but Way2French just a little bit slow on the uptake here. Weren't able to take advantage of that.
Nano gets spotted out, hit with a dart, and so that'll send the Rays player back a little bit to regroup with the squad. A is going to be the commitment. Incred's going to go ahead and drop down some smokes, likely up here on Heaven, and perhaps towards the back of the site. Waiting for the call. It's just a minute to go.
They've got that Brimstone ultimate. They should clear it out. It's just going to be a smoke this time around. There it is. They will go ahead and use that orbital strike because they learned from last time, but an orbital strike in turn to slow them down over here at long.
Still going to bust on the site. Nano picks up Anger. And the enemies are revealed. One player way up there. That's going to be the jump down. Meal, eyes on Heaven. Going to cover this from an odd angle. Able to find it just like that. Sniper v sniper. Both Sova players, by the way. I'm going to ask you about that in a sec. It's 1 player left for Charlotte Phoenix. Shigal, number 11 for Way2French. Jamerson, both of our snipers are on Sovas. Is there a method to that madness, or is it just coincidence?
That was the similar case in our series just before this, where it was the Sova players that were picking up the operators early on, and they continued to do so. I think it's just the ability to play around smokes, that you don't have to get smoked off if you're that Sova player, right? You get smoked off, you just aggressively push with that recon owl. It slows down the smoke push, and it also gives you the information. A lot of teams, they hear that drone and it pushes through the smokes. They're going to stop in their tracks to deal with it first. And so as an operator player, you can just slow them down with that and get the information that you need.
That's huge. I think it's really easy to see where players like, Jet and Phoenix stand, right? Entry frag all day. when it comes to some of the other gods or the other characters, you know, where to best utilize your skill set. Because I think that's really what makes this game different from some of the other, you know, class-based shooters out there or other character-based games. Is that, you know, if you're good at Tom Kench, you know, that's what you're going to play. Whereas it's the opposite way. You want to find the character that matches your play style, not the play style that matches your character, so to speak. Here, it's much more the different story where, oh, I go in first. I guess I'll pick Phoenix. But 5-on-5, 40 to go. A site, the call.
Molotov to slow them down over at the A side. Here's Mill. Ooh, nice angle set up with that Silva ultimate, taking out Sherms. Now it's going to be the slow rotate coming out from Charlotte Phoenix. 2 already going down, only 1 traded away as the bomb will go down. And this is going to be a difficult retake for Charlotte Phoenix.
K-Size. That's the high ground. No idea. Oh, did he get spotted on the drone? That's his teammate's drone, actually. No, it's not. The Silva's around that corner. K-Size has an angle on it. Where's the rest of the team, though? Shots coming in from spawn. And has his back to his murderer. 2 players, though, K-Size and Spirit, are able to answer back. Melio cuts him down, and that's it. Way2French finds number 12. 1 away from that point.
Charlotte Phoenix, their bank's still not broken, though. And so, again, they're going to have the opportunity to fight back, but this is it. They've got the operator in play. It looks like they'll just go with the solo operator this time around. Never mind, Spirit. We'll go ahead and pick that one up. Now, Way2French. They've had 2 rounds in a row with success over at the A site to see if they go for it again. They do have the Raze ultimate to work with, so, you know, having a little bit trouble clearing out Heaven, but they could go ahead and use that showstopper to try and shut that one down.
All heads on C. I usually like the crazy play. I usually like the Rambo on round 12, but not when this is so tight. Charlotte Phoenix are 4 players to deal with 3 that are trying to charge in. Shots finds the 3rd kill of the round. So all of a sudden, Charlotte Phoenix is 4 doubles that of Way2French's players left to defend the spike. Nice shot from K-Size, and it's Meal, and it's no one. Charlotte Phoenix find love potion number 9 here, Jamerson. And, you know, this is what I was saying. Usually the bum rush last round, I'm fine for, but not when they're only up by a couple.
Yeah, I think they could have taken that a little bit more measured, but I'm not against the attempt. Okay. Just the simple fact that they weren't able to do much else. If they had gotten that initial frag, if they were able to take out Spirit early on, I agree, go full on. Sure. But you're still dealing with Spirit, who's been a pretty good anchor over there at the C site. I think the positioning of shots, playing over by Garage instead of more over towards B, was a big contributing factor. Shots himself, like I said, as the Sage, as the support, being able to really hold it down and be a major contributing factor in a lot of these gunfights is one thing. Nano takes out 1, but Anger, trades back for 2.
Anger stuck down in this corner, gonna pop the molly off to the side. Smoke is good. He's gonna push up to Dino is on fire. What are you doing, my man? Melio shoots through the smoke. Oh no. You're not Phoenix, my G.
Sometimes you forget.
Oh no. I've done that in MOBAs, so I understand, I suppose, but
the difficult part here is that Phoenix do have the res, but on 2 players that are just so out of position for them to try and safely do this. They need to commit Cherms over here forward, and it's going to be incredible to take out shots, but Cherms picks up 2.
Big play. Really big play for Cherms to be waiting there in the wings. Melio comes back, grabs the spike, gets spiked himself, and now has to honestly book it. 20 seconds on the clock, just about. And to the seaside he goes. Enough time to plant for sure. And should be able to keep an eye on it from that back corner. But instead going to completely hide and wait for the rotation.
He never recovered his camera, which could have really helped him out here, but now pushing up towards CT, both of them rotating from that same angle. Melio might be able to catch him out here. The information is there, but Cherms gets that trade, secures this round for the team, but that was scary. We have to remember this is map point for Way2French, but Charlotte Phoenix brought it right back. Now they're hitting double digits themselves.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, this is frightening. This is very, very frightening if you're Way2French, because they domination. Not even just a little bit of casual wins. We didn't end the half 6-6. I mean, this was a dominant first half. And unfortunately, they're feeling the other side just as hard.
Way2French here on this eco round. They got some heavy armors along with sheriffs. We'll see how Phoenix play this out. Are they just going to play a default? It looks like they will. Now, where is their Sage? Okay, she's on the C site again with Spirit to cover him.
They found my wire.
Long A. Way2French making their way up banana. 2 players approaching underground, but it's a full retreat from Way2French. We're going to reassess and walk away from A. 3 players from Charlotte Phoenix playing defense in that location. Way2French know that there's at least 2. They can guess that the third is there as well. Melio approaches the garage, but will be walled off, and Shot's gonna heal up after taking a few. C push question mark is what I'm gonna say.
Looks like it might just be that B push with 50 seconds left to go. All 4 players are here. There's no one on the site. So they get that information, the wall off, one on the right, not spotted out. It's K-Size to get that first pick with the second.
And the fantastic dash away with the nonsense. Way2French push up, though. That is an odd call and why they wind up successful there. If they play that normally, for lack of a better term, K-Size likely just aces them. Really, really aggressive push there, and that's why they're able to take down the op player. Smooth moves.
I think with the idea around this particular round for Way2French, so we saw that, there we go, Anger finished that off. Way2French's Brimstone player actually was over by C by himself, securing that ultimate orb. And so now he does have the Brimstone ultimate to work with in this final round here before everything gets reset. This might be a set play for A once again, what they did last time, right? Where they go ahead and use that orbital strike down onto Heaven, onto Dark, and then make a push onto the A site. That's one of the rounds that they were able to take here on their offensive end. So we'll see if they want to try and recreate that. Currently, their spread, they've got 4 over by A. Oh, what a quick peek out from K-Size.
Just how many times have we said this player's name? Fantastic performance from K-Size. You know, even if Charlotte aren't able to eke this one out. If they do, we'll be brought to overtime, which could be our final sudden death overtime, depending on when they patch. We'll cross that bridge if we come to it. But Charlotte Phoenix certainly looked like they've called the city planners here. 5 versus 4.
Get out of my way.
So Cherms just has to be careful playing up here in Heaven. It looks like it is going to be that set play once again onto the A site. We don't have the orbital strike coming down, though.
2 for Charlotte, 3 for Charlotte. And it's 3 versus 1. Use versus the world. Sudden death.
Oh, that easy jump peak coming out from that jet to get that final one. But this is why I'm confused. I was saying at the beginning of the round, having that Brimstone over at long A, getting that set up, making sure that they're able to clear backside along with Heaven and Dark with that orbital strike. They ended up just not using any of their ultimates except for the res in that last fight.
Insane. $5,000 bucks for everybody on the map.
Here.
This is end game, as they call it, sudden death. So everybody gets $5 grand. It's an even keel, and whoever wins this round takes it, and we move on to map 2. Next time around, these rules will be different. So this is our final sudden death overtime. How do you feel?
Pretty good. This has been an amazing map number 1 in this best of 3.
Really has been.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Not every 25 round match is good to watch. This one, though. I recently tackled the bad habit of biting my nails, but still a nail biter.
Right now, it looks like they are congregating once again for that A site on their offense. Those are the 2 rounds that they ended up winning, by the way. And the A site pushes. Here we go. Slowed down by that molly. Do have to be careful as the boom bot comes out first.
This time players don't walk into their own fire, which is a good one. We enjoy that. 5 alive, though. Like the juice. A side. Gonna be the push.
No
Defenders still spread. 1 on C, 1 on B. 3 here at A, however. Melio pushing onto the site. Nobody there. Takes one downstairs. Spawn entrance going to be closed off. Eyes on heaven. And they know the 2 entrances they walk through. So spike down here for Way2French. They're looking to take this one.
Yeah, Melio holding the close corner now. Worked out well for them last time.
The approach going to be coming from the angle that Way2French are holding. This looks really good for French. And, oh, the miss. But they're able to pick it up anyway. Damage in dark, damage in cubby. Doesn't matter. 33 HP is all you need. The Jet player alone. And the ants go marching one by one. Way2French came into this half up 10-2, Jamerson. And then 12 rounds later, they take the victory. Certainly a great look from Charlotte Phoenix. That is the best you can look with while still winding up with the L, I think.
Yeah, both sides just having an amazing defensive end. It just ended up right there. Way2French finally able to take that advantage. You know, the fact that everything was equaled out, you don't have the operators in play and such. Charlotte Phoenix really did bank upon that. Their operator players, both K-Size along with Spirit, were holding down their respective sites. K-Size, of course, was swapping between A and B, keeping that very dynamic, while it was static. Spirit over on the C site that just almost won every single duel over there on the defensive end. Ultimately, though, when you don't have that gun in play, when you don't have that ability and you don't have to play around that, they were able to really take advantage of that A site push.
K-Side's just been dummy fun to watch. Like, this is the guy, this is how I want to see. That is how you put on the backpack. Like I said, one round short of taking the victory, but every time getting out there and finding the kill. I mean, this is the guy, you've played competitive, right? This is the guy that, you know, the hyperclap comes out. Let's go, boys, right? That's the hyperclap, dude. So yeah. I like to see that type of play. And if we go to a map 3, I expect K-Size to be one of the big reasons we get there.
Well, I mean, we first got to get through map number 2 right now, and it's hard to tell which side to favor, honestly, because this was perfectly even. 13-12 victory, having to go into overtime, and despite having that 10-2 lead, it's just absolutely absurd what they were able to do. Again, though, there were some mistakes coming out from Way2French on that final round, on the 24th round there, when they had the ultimates to work with. They didn't actually utilize it properly. That kind of gave me a moment for pause there upon, you know, how well that they're playing right now. It is a mistake that can be fixed, and I hope it's not a mistake that they repeat, because now we know that these mistakes, they do compound, and don't want to make them up against teams that are really this good right now.
I mean, that's the difference that we're talking about. What we're seeing these teams as Fight Night gets more and more competitive, it's very few teams are just going to be able to stunt in the second match for sure, or in the second match for sure, just be able to stunt off gunplay. You know, you've got to be able to, like you said, you keep bringing up these set plays and things like that. I mean, that is a very big deal for how these teams are able to execute and what's separating them from the rest of the squads. I mean, when we see these teams come out, Big Frames just wound up losing to Way2French. Big Frames, I mean, CP2, that guy is one of the best op players I've seen, but his team still winds up losing because Way2French come in with the strategies, with the playbooks, and they're able to execute like that. So when we move into map number 2, that's what I need to see a focus on. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. So I think map number 2, I think we have the exact same map. So it's going to be Bind for map number 2, but it's this time that Charlotte Phoenixes are going to be starting off on the defense here. Now, it might be different for them in terms of how they play out this map, starting off with the defense, because they did have a strong defense as well. Well, they've had a strong defense on whatever side that they've played today. It's just, you know, the offense that got kind of shut down over there on Haven.
Could be pretty tough there. Bind is a different beast altogether when it comes down to trying to play, I think, either side here. Bind, you've got a couple of long sight lines for K-Size to make use of if they continue to play on that op, right? And that's mainly what I'm looking at. Again, I want to see the composition shift when we come here to see more use of those kind of close range characters. Like I always bring up Raze, and I'm going to continue bring up Raze here for sure. Nano did a great job last game. We'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the Raze pick coming out on the defense there for Haven was huge for Way2French. It shut down, honestly, made B a non-factor for them. Their post plants or even just their defenses of B were stellar because of that fact. And I hate to say it, but it was very similar to just kind of running up to, running your head into a brick wall like you normally do in pubs up against a Raze. You just spam your abilities and someone dies, or you do enough damage where you're just able to one-shot them to the body. And that's kind of, I think Charlotte had difficulties dealing with that when they were running into the paint shells over and over again on the offense. And so this is a map where that gets compounded, where Raze, I think, is one of the strongest on this particular map. Just because of the approach is very, very one-sided, very one-dimensional in how you have to approach it on the offense. But, of course, it is Charlotte starting off on the defense this time.
Okay, and that should be an interesting look. Charlotte, do you think this bodes better for them since they're kind of starting on this side, or because Charlotte were the attackers on Haven here, so coming here defending first is going to turn things around? Are they going to be able to get those victories that they weren't last time?
I think this could be better for Charlotte, just with how pub heavy K-Size played. If they can have a really strong defensive end, depending on what K-Size is on, I think he can find some very cheeky opening frags. Starting off on the Phoenix, and this is the same composition we saw out of them last time, right? This was the Sageless composition here. It's got the Omen, the Sova, along with the Phoenix, and the Raze Anger, the only one really holding it down. Anger and Spirit holding it down on the same characters they were used to playing on the other map.
So Way2French here coming in after the first one. This is a lot of times I'm able to kind of come in, especially with the newcomer, right? Charlotte Phoenix coming through and being able to take care of business in match 1 and then come through, and everything changes in game 1 of match 2. Way2French is the incumbent, really doesn't. Basically, what I'm trying to set the table for is I have no idea, despite all of the information, how this is going to go. A trade off the top right away, and Use is going to find the secondary. So it's a 4-on-3 as Way2French defend the B site.
Yeah, Spirit backing away as looks like all 4 players are all ready to make this push onto B. This time around, they've got a secondary member. They do have one. It's going to be the Brim Anger here. It's going to try and double peek with them over here at long.
I like the call. Oh, I thought 2 of them were picked up. Instead, it's just the one, but Anger finds the second. And Nano trying to make the micro plays. Falls down, and it's a big look for Charlotte Phoenix.
Yeah, very nice hold there. They're going to be able to take that pistol round. Now this defense, we'll see. Heavy armor's coming out for all of them. As, yeah, I think they just want to make sure they secure every single round here. So Charlotte Phoenix now. No real investments, no sheriffs, nothing. Except for, okay, the shorty coming out for use. Not entirely too sure why you would do that on the offense.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hughes was the one that got a couple of kills with a pistol. So, an odd look either way.
So if anything, he's the one that should be pushing up through like U-Hauls to try and clear that out.
Yeah. Nano. Toss one off the wall. Incred here. Ooh, big damage. 70% of his life bar just gone. Nice move. Spike planted.
There it is.
And big plays coming out from Charlotte Phoenix here. 4-on-2. Still scratching my head about that shotgun purchase.
No, he played it. Like I said, he was the one that needed to clear out U-Hauls, and he did end up pushing through and getting there. He got one frag, the only frag for Way2French with that. And then I believe Spirit finished him off with a shock dart that he just bounced around the corner without having to go in there and check anymore. So, you know, for 200 credits, whatever, it got you some value. You only invested, I believe, the 200 for the shorty to get in there, and you do economic damage on the other side. Definitely value, especially with the fact that they were able to get the plant as well. So minimal investment with some really good returns.
Odd play, but one that works. Long sights for Spirit. A lot of players waiting here. Spirit still here, finds the shot versus use. Has to fall all the way back, but does have teammates in Octagon. Melio is able to take down one, but Spirit falls back and finds the answer to it. Still 4 here. Defending B site. The rotation coming from Phoenix. They still have one over at A. Interesting choice here. And that's because of the teleport. Players can switch sites very easily, but now filtering onto the site itself. Spirit picks up the 3rd for the round. All kills here belong to the Sova player for Charlotte Phoenix.
Right here.
This is going to be a difficult retake. With that operator, he does have his ultimate out, narrowly missing one. Here we go. Churms is able to equalize things. He knows where that last player is. They don't even have the spike down yet. He doesn't have to go for the peak.
Oh, misses both. Good charge. I love this play by Melio, and it works out. 3 kills for Spirit, but 4 for Melio, one of which is Spirit himself. And a beautiful grab there. Beautiful
picking up that operator. Understanding exactly what the matchup was, you know, operator versus well, something that's not a bolt action. So he just pushes up into his face and just sprays him and just, you know, gets that rate of fire win up against him. So Charlotte Phoenix dropping that first defensive round here, and now it's the eco round for them. Way2French. We'll see what they can do with this. Play this default or be a little bit worrisome of anything cheeky coming on.
Two players still at A, so the mid push is going to be second thought of, actually. And A will be where French opt to go. Incred already up into U-Haul, and there's a wall of smokes. Not going to test it, but the ice wall comes down. Worried about players planting is raised, but Sherm's not going to find much of anything with all that ordnance. Incred gets the shots and a second one as well. So the site largely open here. The rotators from Charlotte Phoenix, the only ones left. Spike still not planted, and a full rotation from French to B.
I like the way that Way2French played that. They understood what they were up against, and so trying to go for that plant, you know, even though they did a very default play there onto the A site, was still risky, right? You have the orbital strike actually come down on you while you're in the mid plant, along with having all of the abilities of the raise right there to bring down bear on you as well. And so even though that's a very default play, it's still a risky one in the face of what Charlotte Phoenix had. So Way2French played that perfectly. I love the pace that they took that at. They didn't try to rush anything. They understood it was, you know, an anti-eco round for themselves, and they crossed all their bases, or you know, they checked all their bases there. So really good play coming out from them. That's going to be 2 rounds in a row for them. Spirit though, and once again with that operator playing on the B site while he has 2 players push Octagon for him.
A site on the other hand, kind of sleepy. Way2French playing this one slow again, but drops down the 2 smokes, and A site likely going to be their target. Slowly this time around, however. And there's the push on in. Uh-oh, Nano's going to pick up 1. Sherm's in trouble, and there's the second from Incred. Way2French have the numbers advantage. Charlotte Phoenix making the rotation, one all the way from spawn, the other from the other side. Nano's trying to deal with the other. And the spike's down, 40 seconds to go.
That was a hell of a mind game coming out from Way2French there, where they're expecting someone, especially the Raze player, to be on the other side of what should be a wall. They never put up the wall, and that's what he was expecting. So he just stood out in the open. When the smoke clears, they see him lining up a nade, and they just get him for free. Way2French are going to be able to secure this round. Charlotte Phoenix just have to opt for the save.
Yeah, nice job there. 5 in the pocket, and Way2French have 3 of them. A good job so far from the incumbent. They have been looking cute on the second one, and this is a very different style from what we saw last time around. 10-2 was the split before the half in map number 1. We wound up finishing it 13-12 this time around. And I leave the names out because largely irrelevant, just saying how swingy it was. Now, 3-2 after 5. So a much different style game than we got last time around.
Now, Charlotte Phoenix, I don't really see them making any other adjustments. I don't think they need to. Currently, we're only into the 6th round here. As Melio with a nice camera to peek over at long. Shot's not even taking the chance to go for that peek yet. But as the slow orb goes down, he's got 2 in his face. And he's the first one to fall.
Uh-oh. Nobody in the usual spots here. Way2French still strong. A nice shot from
those shock darts.
Man. That's the key. Shock dart is really an ability that I think like bronze players get no use out of, and high level players get incredible amounts of usage, and everybody in between is in between. Like it's difficult to learn those angles, but when you do, and you know you're like who ye spots, you are kind of doing it. A couple of kills brought to us by shock darts already.
Ooh, Spirit wins that first duel.
Spirit's been
impressive. Strike.
Been impressive all night, I'd say. Oh, nice snap look. And Charlotte Phoenix right back into it. 3-3.
I thought that might have just been another round where you go for that save. They were already down so many members there, and their HP didn't look great. It did not look great going into that. But, you know, Spirit starts it off with a huge pick. That operator has been massive for him. And, yeah, he has been just a very solid anchor player for his squad. On that Sova all night long, been picking up that operator 90% of the rounds whenever he's got the money. And he's been showing up with it. Tying it up 3-3 here as we go into the 7th round. Way2French, you know, their B pushes been a little bit stifled, and I want to see if they maybe go for another A1, but this time it looks like no, they will be going for a B push.
Trouble. No eyes. I really thought everybody's going to come right on through, but instead it's going to be a long push, and Spirit continues to show up. Finds one, misses the second. Knows where they are, though. Ray's going to peek on out, and it's the defenders that are doing it.
Oh, my gosh.
Way2French, on the other hand, from Hookah, the attackers are doing it on that side. So long dominated by the defenders, Hookah dominated by the attackers, and the spike has been planted here by Way2French.
2v4 retake. They do have Showstopper, but again, this post plant is just set up where they're spread out. You maybe pick up one, maybe.
Nice trade. Charlotte Phoenix is able to get one from Back Labs. Do they move or do they stay there is the question? Because, well, stay there is the answer. Terms looks good. The attackers take it. Way2French. After all that, back and forth we go.
Yeah, they played that well. They had the post plant. They set up the crossfire. They were spread out, so they never had to worry about, you know, two of them going down to something like a Showstopper or even the paint shells there. And so Charlotte Phoenix playing that one properly. Bank broken. Way2French playing that one properly. But now it's Charlotte Phoenix who are on the eco. We've got Frenzy out for Spirit. Cherms picking up that sheriff for the team. It's going to be a full three-man peak, but we've seen this last time. It's Nano in position once again. Spirit is here to try and trade, but take a look at the double peak coming out from Way2French, minimizing their losses here.
Also, not the distance you want to take that frenzy at, right? The season you want that closer spot. I would have liked him to rush. Couldn't find it though. Anger, mad, chased out and cut down. Melio waiting.
Yeah, it's just going to be a rotate off. They know that's the last man. He's on site. They might as well just go ahead and take that over to A.
Yeah.
Where they'll have the post-plant advantage.
Or they take the port to the port. It's still my favorite play. Oof. That's not Cherms' favorite play. Raise on raise on raise. 5-3. Way2French start to separate themselves from the challengers.
My thanks.
They'd already be happy with 5. But now they've got, 7 opportunities to really increase their half here. As we're going to see the operator buy coming out from Spirit once again. Kind of the crux of the B-site defense has just been how the other two defenders play it. You know, they haven't been able to really win out their duels over by playing by Hexagon. They get peaked over there, or Octagon, and they just end up dying. I kind of want to see them play a little bit more aggressively there if they can, instead of just allowing the offense to push all the way up long.
Showers 2. Main 3. Standard push. This is the standard push. 2 in showers and 3 in main. Sometimes you see 4 in main, 1 in showers. And then you see generally a wall or 2 smokes to cut this angle off while they plant. Instead, no smokes, just an all-out push. Stova from the top is going to fire out the ult. Melio gonna boot up Napster. Find everybody. And it's a 3-on-4. Way2French have the spike planted. Charlotte trying for the retake.
They've already used their major abilities to try and deal with it, right? Barring some miracle, this is going to be another Way2French round now. It's just down to the 1. You guys finished off pushing through a smoke, and you know, I like the way Way2French approached that. They gained shower controls, and big thing there was that Incredible was able to pick up the ultimate orb over at Showers. He ends up, of course, getting his ultimate off of that. They use that to clear out U-Hauls, and it's an easy push onto the A side afterwards. They don't have to worry about that left side angle. Heaven is the biggest thing. On-site is the biggest thing. And so they're just able to push in, get that for free. Charlotte Phoenix now. We'll see. They've been continually doing 2-3 split, 2 on A, like you mentioned, and 3 over on to the B site. And now they're playing aggressively over here by Long. That's what I was talking about. But the timing on it is just not going to work out for them.
Look at this. Charlotte Phoenix are playing so aggressively. They just filter out. Way2French figure it. They don't they don't fall victim and they just move. They do have to wait for this this full flank though. The Phoenix player coming all the way up the rear. This could be huge for Charlotte Phoenix. Spike has been planted, so Way2French going to be able to turn around now. Finally, Phoenix is behind. Did you see him? Oh no, not quite. See you later. Nice job. And so 2 players left for Phoenix, and they're going to be coming from the front. But Way2French have dug their cleats on in. And I believe this will be their 7th round here, Jay.
Yeah, there it is. Trying to figure out what they can try and do differently, right? I think making that aggressive push up through B was definitely something for them, but the way Way2French played that, they, you know, it was just not the proper timing for Charlotte Phoenix. I think, you know, on the rifle rounds, they should try something similar. The 2 players that were holding over there, but the adjustment that they're going to make, they're going to go ahead and send the Phoenix over to short A to make an aggressive play, but the timing, again, no one's over there by short A for Way2French, and so this ultimate is just going to fizzle out, as he's already popped it, he's making his advance, he's already through the port, now here he goes, try to clear it out, he goes down.
Well, I guess there's information gathered.
Yeah, they know that he's been playing over at B as well.
Right. Oh well, Spirit is able to get a real kill. So Way2French not off to the same start they have been the past couple of rounds. Back and forth till about number 5 and now number 10. Way2French have a 4-round lead. Case size able to find a kill, but is traded out immediately. And so the 3 out of 4, Way2French pushing still. Now it's all even. Spike down.
Oh, here comes the orbital strike. Doesn't catch anyone that time though.
But it
just delay.
They're trying to get this plant on, and it's down. Charms with 2. 1 alive. Gotcha. Out of nowhere, just dink.
Yeah, just the complete wraparound through B halls. Really just kind of baiting his teammates there. But that was a beautiful snap, by the way, by Terms, just catching that second player. But, you know, it's still ultimately a 1v3, and 1v3s are difficult. Phoenix are going to go ahead, and of course, this is the last round, forced up, and that's the best that they can afford here at SMG on 1. Considering the Guardian buy, that would allow him to go to heavy armor if you wanted to, I think.
Yep.
But no, he wants that rate of fire.
The Guardian getting changed next patch. A shift, as we call it in the industry. Not a nerf, not a buff, just a shift. I like the idea of the shift. Right now, Way2French trying to shift into game number 2, which would end their night. Charlotte Phoenix, though, starting this one off high with 2 from Charms, 2 answered, and a 3rd from Nano. Melio has been a top performer and also finds a 2-piece in this one. And it's Phoenix for Phoenix versus the world here. Oh, I need no eyes to see. Oh man, immediately. There's an old Richard Pryor sketch where he's blind and he's pretending to be able to see on the train. And that's immediately what I thought of. Getting the kill while blind is so impressive. Like, because it's about knowing timing and how quickly, like realistically, when you get a kill through smoke or blind in that situation, sometimes it's just luck. But right there, the sniper saw the player, right? Got information, got blinded, but knew the size of a player model, how long it takes for the player to move, and can estimate how, you know, that position. Like that is an intelligent guess, not just a Odin spam through the smoke. And that stuff always impresses me. Ooh, look at that camera angle.
Yeah. They spotted out. They're going to go ahead and clear that. He knows there's at least 2.
Cage triggered.
Way2French here on the defensive side. Just need 4 more rounds to close this out, and this is going to be an early night for us. We'll see, though, if Charlotte Phoenix can bring it back like they did on Haven from a bigger deficit beforehand. KSI starts it all off, taking out Mill first.
And all of a sudden, Anger showing up one more time. Has been kind of quiet here. Map number 2. Keep in mind, Charlotte Phoenix kind of fought their way a couple of rounds in a row. So maybe he's just hibernating. KSI is also a performer when the team was winning. Oh. Charlotte Phoenix do find it. 2 versus 1 in that hallway. And they're able to get this one. So it's at 9-4. Pistol round goes to Charlotte. And they could just do what we saw last map, right? Last map, they kind of got shut down, then won the first 2 rounds on the half to the half, and it was off to Funky Town, as the kids say. Now, Way2French, I mean, are they going to stop this, or is this going to be a landslide for Phoenix?
I was wondering how much they were going to invest into this. 2 of them already have rifles. 2 of them are on SMGs, and Spirit is saving up for that operator once again. As, wow, it's a full 5-man push through short A, but they don't have anyone watching their flanks.
What?
They don't have the Cypher. So,
this is an odd play.
Oh, they're just walking this in, too. This flank could be huge.
Oh, spotted. K-Size finds him. Able to pick that one. Guardian abound. Blinding. There's the paranoia from shots. Haven't seen much Omen play. That's always curious. Oh, nice charge. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Anger gets real mad, takes down 3. K-Size shows up as well. And those are your moneymakers for Phoenix. So 2 in the pocket after the half. And like I said last time around, this is how they ran with it.
And it's fairly important who went down there, right? So Spirit trading away, going down, that's fine because he wasn't really trying to bring anything into this round. He was just going for that operator buy for this one. The fact that they were able to kind of transfer ultimately in the end one of those rifles means that they're going to be working off of 3 rifles here. Anger picking one up himself. It's going to be 2 Guardians for Charlotte Phoenix. So they're going to have some issues, of course, in terms of rate of fire, but the Guardian can still do heavy work. Spirit going to push through with that recon. Owl drone spots one out, but he doesn't know that there's a player on the left-hand side. We'll see if they check that angle. They spot one out, but Incredible gets him.
Oh, man. Incredible gets a secondary before getting taken down by Spirit, who finds the end one. 2 on 3 here. Way2French have the trips. Pretty sure Phoenix just blinded himself, but it's all good. Nano winds up looking cuter. And Spirit's going to miss that shot. Way2French looking for numero 10. And Spirit locked by himself here at B site. Gets the kill. Can't find the other. 3 for Spirit, but it ain't enough. After 15, Way2French have 10, 3 away from the win.
Yeah, now Phoenix on the back foot. They do have enough money to buy for 2. Let's see if they want to go ahead and go for the force up. Heavy armors, light armors. We got a Guardian buyout for Churms. Spirit, though, almost no money to his name, 2,500 credits. And, he's been that operator player, so it's going to be a light armor buy. So a half buy coming out for Charlotte Phoenix here on the offensive side. They're down by 5 currently here. Way2French, we have to remember that they've already taken 1 map. They're getting closer and closer, taking this victory.
Nowhere to run.
4-1 split. The raise is completely elsewhere. Use a nano, though. Continuing what's good. K-Size now opting for the ultimate. Getting a kill. And that just feels bad. That just feels bad. Great play by Way2French or lucky draw?
Great play by Way2French, honestly. Timing there, they don't see anything over at 8, so they know that if it's going to be a push, it's going to be a big push out of Charlotte Phoenix. So once they spot out 1, they know that there's multiple over there. Throwing down that orbital strike over to over towards B, long B. It ends up catching multiple out. And of course, that unfortunate timing of the Phoenix ultimate to die to go straight into the fire. Oh. That was the most almost literal kind of, I guess, translation of, you know, out of the frying pan and into the fire. Like, that's exactly what happened there for him.
I mean, yeah, I can't think of a more apt turn of phrase. Two players trying to rush through hookah here. Charlotte Phoenix gets a lucky one, but Incred just as lucky. Honestly, just left clicking through the smoke. Nano here, gonna get surprised on the back end. Players pushing up through long as well, but gonna be safe for now. Three players trying to push on, and they'll walk away from B this time.
They don't have to commit to it. Again, it's about getting those splits. They've already got the rotation out from the Sova, or excuse me, out from, I think it was the Brim. Now, Phoenix, if they can play for that man advantage over at A site, no, they have rotated, so now it's 2 per site. They got to really slow push this, and they still have to deal with a Cypher, a Sova. There's a lot of ways they can delay this. Now, as the abilities come out,
Meal's gonna snap. Oh, took off the scope at the last second. Pop Tarts are good. Lower the damage. Couple of pistol shots should do the job now. Melio can pretty much spam or pick and choose his targets. A dozen for Way2French.
and now we're sitting on match points. Evening point here. Way2French had a little difficult time on Haven, but here it's been a completely different case. You know, we had stalwart defenses on Haven from both sides. Charlotte Phoenix, though, weren't able to get much going, and so really set them behind once they swapped sides. And now, Way2French just need one more round, and Charlotte Phoenix just running out of time, never really able to crack the defense here of Way2French. Just dropping the ball in a few cases, honestly. A few mistakes that, you know, if it was shored up, Charlotte Phoenix could have got these rounds on the board, but Way2French are just playing so smart right now.
Ooh, man. No kills there, but certainly a deterrent. The owl drone will be taken down. Sorry, Dumbledore. That's not the owl's name. I don't know. 4-on-4 here. There it is. 4-on-4 pushing up. Now 3-on-3. Trades are good. Anger, though, trying to be the clutch man for his team. Map 1, they had to beat a team named Mamba. Trying to see if they can lifesteal that into Mamba mentality here. In our second map, Melio. Certainly going to make that difficult. Knows where both of them are. 1 versus 2. But Melio honestly has a good situation. Doesn't matter. Anger. Again, puts on the backpack. Number 6 here for Charlotte Phoenix. Way2French, 1 away from ending it.
You see him scrambling to try and find a gun, turns around, it's another Guardian, runs onto site. Okay, he ends up finally finding, I think it was the Phantom there at the end. But again, Way2French, they've got 6 rounds to work with here just to try and close this out with the advantage that they have. Right now, Churms, light armor buy if he wants to with the with the rifle. He should be able to pick that up.
Spread out here from Charlotte. Spike is going towards the B site, but they kind of leave 1 and 2 at A. So it's a 3-1-1 split from the attackers. They looking for picks here, or what's the call?
Yeah, I think you just play default at this point. As again, they've got the rounds to work with. They don't have to rush anything.
And Way2French just sitting at home. There's, like you said, I mean, there's no reason at all to really do anything here. Ha! Meal. first kill of the contest. 50 seconds left to go. Charlotte Phoenix could buy their time earlier. Now, they've got to pick and choose. Incred and Melio each get a kill. 2 players left standing for Charlotte Phoenix. 2 players on French without a kill this round. Can we get the team ace is the question. Location revealed for Melio, so players know he's in this cubby. Does he care? Yes. Oh, secondary information. Pushing on through. Oh, they tried to get into the TP. Melio said no to 1. Nano actually credited for the kill. Neil missed the op shot, but his team's waiting, and there's the team ace for the night. Way2French will stay on the table, and we'll see him next week.
Wow. So another defense coming out. Now we'll see if they make it past week number 3. Charlotte Phoenix, unfortunately, strong start, you know, but this ends up being, of course, a marathon. So ran out of gas after making that first 100-yard sprints, you know, in the first best of 3. You're Way2French, especially here on Bind. Just were able to hold it down. Their offense looked strong, really took advantage of a lot of mistakes coming out. But it was also some of the mind games that Way2French were playing, like we had mentioned. That kind of default play onto A where you push up short and wall off truck and then get the plants. Small things where they smoke it off and then delay on throwing down that wall and really playing the mind games with Cherms there. It caught them off guard. And so it wasn't just great macro play. It was just small individual mind games that really came out to help them out for the victory here.
That's the fun stuff to watch, honestly. Like I said, I mean, you're going to get to a point, if you watched the T1 tournament, for example, was pretty recent. If you watch those players, everybody hits their shots. You know, you get to that point. You're a big Counter-Strike fan. Dude, people hit their shots. That's what happens. Crosshair placement, like, that's what happens. What separates the teams, I mentioned it a little bit coming into this one, are the ways that you actually play the game. Like you said, you know, those mind games are fun to watch, and that's what separates our squads for sure.
Yeah, and so despite, again, that strong start, I think maybe that might have lowered their guard a little. Because the duels that they were winning in their first matchup, right? It was pretty handily one-sided.
Yeah.
A lot of times K-Size was able to kind of get away with a lot of pub mentality kind of pushes. And that might have kind of, you know, stoked them up just a little bit too much. They got a little bit too gassed there. And coming up against this where the duels were a bit more equal and it wasn't as one-sided and they weren't able to find their footing in these fights, it was really back and forth, especially on Haven, but here on Bind, it was a complete different beast.
Fun to watch, absolutely. Charlotte Phoenix really standing up, and one of the stronger teams, I think, that have come through recently here on Fight Night. Again, if you just joined us for the last half, basically, this is what happens every Tuesday. We're here live, and we play these games. Way2French are going to be back, just like they were last week. So they hold on as the champions, and they get to face up against a challenger. And that challenger will play against the second challenger in order to get the chance to actually fight them. So grats to Charlotte Phoenix for putting on a good show, but bigger congratulations to our boys from Way2French. Still can't speak any French. Sorry, but if I could, I'd say congratulations in French. Do you know how to say Jamerson?
I do not know. I was trying to think of things and it instantly still went back to Spanish. So you and I are in the same boat.
I got nothing. I'm from New York, so I definitely default to Spanish. But Way2French, they default to victory. Good stuff from them. We'll see them next week, as I said. Again, there's a lot of tournaments, not just with Valorant, but with all esports, right? Listen, I come from the world of Smite. I cast Rocket League. I cast Valorant. I watch Counter-Strike. I watch fighting games. And Juked helps me keep it all in line. One site, one place, mad different esports. You want to go there to keep everything up to date. And if you got a Discord, you can even put the bot in there like I do. So fun stuff. They're the ones who power our tournaments. You're the ones who power the other half of the tournament. So thank you for showing up. Jamerson, I'll catch you next week. Along with everybody else, peace and much love too.